If on a beautiful day you and your best friend suddenly get transported into the game, what would you do? At that moment, a voice says, "Why are you here?" Then both of them look at each other in complete surprise. Cordelia steps back a few paces, looking at the man in front of her in panic. That man turns out to be the reborn one, whose real name is Al Boxer, but in this world he's called Judicator. He's also panicking, trying to calm himself down. Wait a minute, stay calm. Cordelia is here because she's engaged to Jude Daniel. But just now, why did Al Boxer look at Cordelia in such shock? Why is Yellowstorm appearing in my mind? Seeing him so flustered, the servant next to him named Maya calls out, "Young master." Only then does Al Boxer snap back to reality, hesitating as he says, "Please forgive me, Cordelia." He reluctantly replies, "It's okay." Al Boxer politely invites her, "Please have a seat first." Cordelia replies, "It's okay." Both of them sit facing each other, but neither says a word, making the atmosphere awkward. Al Boxer gets the idea to test her. Then he hesitates, noticing the person across from him staring at him. Cordelia asks, "What?" Al Boxer raises his hand in a greeting motion and smiles, saying, "Ihi." That's the nickname for Ishi. Cordelia is stunned when she hears it. Al Boxer keeps staring, and Cordelia reacts. Then it's clear as day. Al Boxer glances at the servant beside him, thinking, "I have so much I want to ask, but there are outsiders here. We need to find a place to talk privately." Al Boxer turns to Cordelia. "At the beginning, when we first spawned out of the main gate, you're number 9 at the 9 o'clock direction." Cordelia is startled when she hears it focusing because she seems to understand what Al Boxer is saying. This code is from the beginning when we first spawned. The second hero is at 12 o'clock midnight. Out of the main gate, you're number 9 at 9 o'clock. It means we have a lot to talk about. So let's meet at midnight in the garden of the Boxer estate. He thinks to himself, if she's really Yellowstorm, she'll understand. That's the slang for people who don't engage in social life. Cordelia slams her hand on the table, stands up and says, "Roger, that means it's clear in military terms." She turns and leaves. "Dahlia, let's go." Dahlia respectfully bows to Al Boxer and then turns to follow Cordelia, "Miss." At that moment, Al Boxer clears his throat, watching her leave. "Then I'll wait until the day we meet again, Miss Cordelia." After Cordelia leaves the servant, Maya asks, "Young master, what was that just now?" Al Boxer sighs, leans back in his chair, and laughs it off. "It's nothing, don't worry about it." In his mind, he's thinking, "This is driving me crazy, her saying Roger confirms she's Yellowstorm." The sky gradually turns to the black of late night. In the grounds of the estate, there's a sigh from Al Boxer. He's walking along, adjusting his coat. The north is different, and it's still summer, but it's this cold. Yellowstorm's probably here by now. Oh, there she is. He runs toward the figure in a black cloak, standing in front of the fountain in the estate calling Yellowstorm. Cordelia turns around and looks at him. "Boxer." Al Boxer approaches Cordelia and says, "Hey, can I share my thoughts on this now?" Cordelia looks at him and laughs. "Damn, I'm lucky I know what's going on." Boxer points at himself and asks, "Hey, is it the same for you?" Cordelia does the same gesture, exactly the same. The two of them suddenly fall silent to the point where you can hear the wind blowing. Al Boxer says, "Stop being so dramatic and focus on the main thing. When did you wake up?" Cordelia replies, 2 days ago I opened my eyes and found myself in bliss." "What about you?" Boxer strokes his chin thoughtfully. "Probably 2 days ago too." Cordelia frowns at him. "Why are you being so vague?" Boxer looks at Cordelia and says, "What can I do? You don't know about Judenbiel's physical condition." "Well, Judenbiel has a strange illness. It's blocked in the 9 yin and yang meridians. It's a disease that arises from an imbalance of yin and yang in the body. Their blood vessels are restricted compared to normal people because their bodies are so weak that they can't use mana at all. Boxer thinks, above all, this disease is very hard to treat. Now that I think about it, it's a bit unfair to me. Why did I have to become Judenbiel, even though he has enough talent to overcome the illness?" He crosses his arms and says, "Man, it would have been great to become badass characters like Leon or Maximilian. That would be awesome." Cordelia sees him rambling like that and raises an eyebrow. "Are you out of your mind or something?" Boxer suddenly recalls, 2 days ago I was really sick and I even said some weird stuff unconsciously." Cordelia asks, "Weird stuff?" Boxer says, "Well, Maya told me I asked where I was." Cordelia looks at him. "So that's why you're not sure about the memories from the past 2 days." Suddenly, Cordelia whips around to face Al Boxer angrily. "Wait a minute, so you're not okay right now?" "Hey, I came to see you this morning, didn't I? So why do we have to sneak around now? Do you think it's easy for a grown lady to slip away from her parents to meet her fiancé?" Al Boxer retorts, what else can I do with this sick body? How can I climb walls? You're the lady, right? Cordelia ponders for a moment. Since birth, I guess. Boxer is surprised by her words and asks, wait, Yellowstorm is a girl. Cordelia frowns at him. So you're a guy? Boxer answers immediately. Of course I'm a guy. Cordelia says, well, I'm straight. I just didn't think it was necessary to say. Boxer looks annoyed and replies dismissively, got it, but you really don't know anything. Al Boxer thinks to himself, of course I'd be confused when you said Roger. That's only used in the military. Al Boxer looks at Cordelia. Come on, don't be mad anymore. I called you here for another reason too. Cordelia asks what mission. Al Boxer explains, my father Earl Bale took my brothers and the vassals on an expedition. Now the estate is empty. We won't get caught. Al Boxer recalls seeing them off. I went to see them off, so I remember it clearly. At that moment, he's surprised. Wait, how do I remember seeing them off? Cordelia looks up at the sky. So do you like it like I do? So do you like it like I do? Cordelia interrupts Boxer's thoughts. Cordelia says, you've become the character you spent so much time playing in the game, right? So when I got transported into the game like this, I almost thought Yellowstorm was my past life. To the point where my previous memories and Cordelia's are mixing together. Calling Earl Bale dad feels so natural, and I don't hesitate to call Earl Bale my dad as if it's always been that way. Al Boxer agrees, yeah, that's true, but a second later he realizes there's an issue. Wait, that means we didn't get transported into the game. Think about it, this is the real world. Think about it, this is the real world. Al Boxer worries, then we're in big trouble. If this is the real world, we can't go back. Cordelia realizes the problem too. Yeah, and if this world is real, blades will definitely be destroyed by the great summoning ritual. Al Boxer jokes, if we think about it that way, maybe it's not so bad. I think even if it were Leon or Maximilian, I wouldn't want it. Cordelia snaps, what are you even saying? How can you joke around right now? Al Boxer stays casual. No, what I mean is Yodel and Cordelia aren't the main characters. But I just think that if I'm the warrior and you're the mage, that would be perfect. Cordelia is baffled and doesn't quite get what Al Boxer is saying. A moment later, she figures it out. Oh, in other words, she turns to him with a smile. We're a perfect team to share items, right? Al Boxer snaps his fingers. Exactly. Cordelia sighs. Really, I never thought I'd be in a group after soloing for 5 years. The system pops up at a message, or do you want to form a team? Boxer looks tormented, teasing her. I get it. Waking up in the game world is weird. I never thought I'd be in a group with a forever second-place girl. Cordelia gets angry. What, you jerk? Cordelia points at him. What did you just say? Boxer backs away. Anyway, let's cooperate and have fun, okay? I was just kidding. Al Boxer stops joking and seriously reminds, all right, focus. If this reality is real, the 9 yin and yang blockages should heal faster than in the game, right? If we just share items with massive power, it should unblock the yang part right away, buddy. Al Boxer adds, since it's a team game, you won't do everything alone, right? If I recover soon, won't that be super helpful for you? Cordelia pouts, I know, so what? Are there any items around here? Al Boxer smiles. Not one in the Belcane Mountains. Cordelia is a bit dazed. In the Belcane Mountains. What do you mean? Suddenly, Cordelia jumps up and yells, no way. You're talking about the sun necklace. Boxer startles and looks around. We're meeting secretly here. Cordelia covers her mouth. Are you crazy? The sun necklace drops from Laser Gang. How can we take him down when we're this weak? Laser Gang is a mid-level boss. Boxer realizes the issue since both of them are at level 1. Still, he stays casual. I've thought about that a lot and have a solution. Cordelia asks curiously. A solution? Boxer now acts vague and hesitant. So let's date. Cordelia is surprised and silent. She asks, what? Boxer looks at her and smiles. I mean, let's date on a carriage. The next morning, a luxurious carriage drives through a green hill full of flowers. Cordelia steps out of the carriage, marveling at the vast scenery and clear blue sky. The weather is so nice. Boxer smiles. Yeah. The two of them start acting for the servants and guards. The flowers and grass are so beautiful. No regrets getting out of the carriage. Al Boxer awkwardly continues, of course not. As beautiful as you, Cordelia. Cordelia is just as awkward. Oh gosh, that's not right. I mean, stop teasing me, young master. Al Boxer laughs. Then Cordelia, the scenery over there is quite nice. Would the lady like to take a walk with me? After that, both of them quickly head over there. Cordelia, embarrassed, snaps, jerk, I can't take this anymore. Boxer doesn't care about her words. Cuss all you want, but don't let them hear. And don't walk like that. Do you want everyone to know it's all an act? Cordelia looks at him. Stop rambling, Al. Boxer, be serious. Don't mind that. Let's just talk about the plan. The plan is to nab Laser Gang at level 1 and get the Sun Necklace. The Sun Necklace is a sacred item. The Sun Necklace is a sacred item that holds the power of demons and drops from the Blood Moon. Laser Gang is a powerful demon sealed in the Temple of the Sun God in the Belkane Mountains and can be defeated in the later part of the game Legend of Heroes 2. Al. Boxer turns back to Cordelia. But I didn't say we're going to catch Laser Gang. Cordelia asks, what then? What are we going to do? Al. Boxer answers, of course I have a plan. Did you bring the gear I asked for? Cordelia pats her dress. Of course it was hard to hide it in my dress. Boxer looks down and jokes, just like I'd expect from our feisty girl. Since you brought it, I'll trust you with the rest. Cordelia gets angry, clenching her fist. I've never been feisty. Enough with the gross comments, okay? So what the heck are you planning? Boxer points at the head, simple. He asks, do you see that cliff over there? I checked it on the way here, and as expected, the terrain in Legend of Heroes 2 matches this place. So after we get close to that cliff, you can carry me and jump off with your magic. Cordelia wonders, the sun god statue will appear when we go down to the flower garden. So why do we have to jump from there? Al. Boxer glances at her. Haven't you ever played it like that? It's a shortcut. Cordelia goes silent, then embarrassed she turns away. Of course I know. I was just saying, oh my God. Al. Boxer thinks to himself, this girl really can't lie. She looks toward Maya and Dahlia. I can see it all over her face. He looks toward Maya and Dahlia. As you said, we could take the long way, but we're in a situation where we can't bring those two. Boxer continues, with this method, Maya and Dahlia can't use magic, so they won't easily follow us. But since it's tricky, let's do a few things to make sure. Cordelia asks, make sure of what? Al. Boxer points at her. First, you have to promise not to cuss. After you hear it, of course, no hitting. Cordelia crosses her arms. Just say it first. Al. Boxer asks, promise. He leans in close to Cordelia's ear. After we jump, take advantage of our engagement, you'll... Boxer whispers something that makes Cordelia exclaim, what? Cordelia blushes and steps back. Are you crazy? Since she said it loudly, it draws Maya's attention. She turns to look at them. Boxer reminds, all right, do you have any better ideas? If you do, tell me right now. I bet Maya and Dahlia will figure it out quickly. Cordelia is fidgety and furious, yelling, damn it, let's do it. Do exactly what you said. Al. Boxer smiles. All right, so let's hold hands and run. Maya and Dahlia panic. Young master. Miss Cordelia lifts her foot, fly. She hugs Al. Boxer tightly and flies down the cliff. As soon as they land, Dahlia calls from above. Miss Cordelia, what is this? It's dangerous. Come back right now. Cordelia takes a deep breath, gathering her courage. Al. Boxer urges her. Cordelia, hurry up. She yells, young master Juden, I want some alone time with you. Cordelia is embarrassed. Go ahead of me. I'll be fine. I know you're a very polite gentleman. I'll be back before dinner, so don't worry. Dahlia worries. When something like this happens between the lady and young Master Juden, I mean, above all, we need to escort you closely. If not, it's very dangerous. Maya places her hand on her shoulder to calm her. Escort them, Dahlia. I can assure you that the young master is very polite. Dahlia yells, that's not the point. Al. Boxer grabs Cordelia's hand and runs. While we're still here, let's go. Maya and Dahlia call after them. Young master. Miss Cordelia yells, why do I have to do this? She's angry as she jumped from the cliff. I'm the one who hugged you, and I'm the one making excuses for this. Why am I the one responsible for all this embarrassing stuff? Boxer calmly says, why are you saying that? I'm the one with the blocked yin and yang meridians. How can I use my weak arms to hug you? Cordelia angrily says, just wait until you cure that blocked yin and yang. We'll settle this. Boxer strokes his chin, and it's not just you. I did embarrassing stuff too. Not a date in the garden or the carriage, but sending you a letter for the mission. He recalls, Maya was right next to me staring while I wrote the letter. She even suggested starting with, to Miss Cordelia, I love you. Cordelia is speechless after hearing that, so you still went through with it. But that's better than yelling what you said right in front of them. You want to die, don't you? Boxer laughs awkwardly. All right, let's go. I'll lead the way. 10 minutes later, the hill is filled with heavy breathing. Boxer collapses. Is your energy drained? Cordelia looks pale. I thought you were leading the way. She asks, are you okay? Boxer breathlessly replies, no, I'm not okay at all. This damn blocked yin and yang. Cordelia helplessly says, he's way too weak. Boxer suggests, carry me. Boxer exhausted says, carry me. Boxer exhausted says, carry me. We need to get there on time. Hurry or... Cordelia rushes over. All right, I get it. So don't say anything else, especially about dying. A strange blue light radiates from inside. Cordelia carries Al Boxer inside. Here it is. It looks just like in the game. Al, that hurts. Is this the right way? Al Boxer slumps on her shoulder, not answering, making Cordelia worry, not answering. You're like a dead body. Wait, what temple is this? She suddenly stops and looks ahead. Cordelia excitedly says, finally we're here. The temple of the sun god. Isn't Blood Moon Demon Laser Gang sealed here after the battle with the paladin? Cordelia sets Al Boxer down. I was right, it's this feeling. Al Boxer asks, what are you feeling? Cordelia looks at the temple of the sun god. Yeah. The message always shows up when you enter the temple of the sun god in the game. Cordelia gently says, that's it. In the game, it just shows as text, but feeling it with my senses like this, I feel like my heart is being purified. Al Boxer stares at Cordelia without blinking. He blushes involuntarily. Al Boxer startles, wait, why is my heart racing? Al Boxer stares at Cordelia without blinking. He blushes involuntarily. She steps inside excitedly. If that's the case, this is exactly the feeling from the game. Thanks to the holy power, the temple of the sun god never has any monsters. Cordelia hums comfortably. Where is it? It must be the seal of Laser Gang around here. Boxer is still standing there blankly. Calm down, calm down. Cordelia's appearance was programmed to be beautiful, so it's probably just a bit strange for me. I'm not interested in Yellowstorm at all. Cordelia has found the spot. Here it is, the seal. She looks up with excited eyes. Wow, it's exactly like in the game. The whole room is the sealing mechanism. Cordelia asks Al Boxer, the enemy is a demon sealed in a temple this size. There has to be a way, right? Al Boxer smiles. Yeah, hand me the tool. Cordelia lifts part of her dress. As ordered, I'm embarrassed. I hid it under my clothes. Look away for a bit. Cordelia threatens, if you dare turn around, you're dead. Boxer obeys. Okay. Cordelia pulls out glass jars, paper, and many other things. Al Boxer holds them surprised. Oh, you hid all this in your clothes. Cordelia scolds. Yeah, I did. It was tough, so appreciate it. Don't be dense like Nobita. Al Boxer picks up the red jar, examining it. If it were me, making magic potions is hard, so thanks for having a family full of magic users. Sure. Thank you, Your Highness. He opens the glass jar and dips the pen in. Then Al Boxer kneels down and smiles. Now it's time to show our skills. As Al Boxer draws on the stone, Cordelia watches from behind. She rests her chin in her hand, curious. This is the Paladin Magic Circle. The Paladin Magic Circle is the greatest achievement of the Barrier Wizards. It showed excellence in the end of Legend of Heroes with the risk of not binding a demon that was previously captured. And because of its 3-minute limit, it's also called emergency magic. But the stronger the demon, the stronger the circle's power. It's a magic circle that counters powerful demons. Cordelia looks at Al Boxer in astonishment. Turn around, you maniac. How can he remember something this complicated? Al Boxer sighs. Finally done, I'm tired. Al Boxer turns and calls to her. Cordelia, now it's your turn. Cordelia's surprised. Al Boxer points to the magic. I'm just asking for precaution, but you know what this is, right? I don't want to explain. I'm too tired. Cordelia gets angry at being underestimated. I know. Al Boxer nods. Yes, and you know how to draw it, right? Cordelia puts her hands on her hips. Of course I do. Cordelia puts her hands on her hips. Of course I do. Who do you think I am? Boxer looks at her at a loss for words. Obviously, she can't lie. Boxer explains, as you know, because of the 9 yin blockages, I can't activate the magic circle. You'll have to activate the Velastin magic circle. Of course, since you're only level 1, you won't have enough mana to hold Laser Gang for 3 minutes. So you'll have to use the mana creatures released from the seal of the sun god Solaris as a second energy source. Boxer points to the magic circle. In other words, blink while holding the power of the temple that's sealing Laser Gang. But it won't last long. This is a method to summon part of the body of what's imprisoned. Cordelia understands, I get it. Just 1 drop of blood, right? Boxer quickly answers, yeah, that should be enough to activate it. Don't make a big cut. Cordelia looks at him, surprisingly wondering why he's suddenly concerned. Cordelia says and swipes to activate. A small drop of blood falls on the Velestine magic circle. Then the magic circle emits a red light. Al Boxer from behind marvels, "Oh, it's lighting up. It's working." Suddenly he feels something strange in his body and groans in pain. Al Boxer worries, "It's shaking hard. Are you okay?" Cordelia looks around. "I'm feeling the mana density increasing rapidly." Cordelia notices something and widens her eyes. The seal of Solaris is breaking. At that moment, a strange red object bound by chains appears. The demon laser gang has appeared, but he's still in a deep sleep state. Cordelia and Al Boxer look up at the demon in astonishment. Al Boxer, still worried, says, "The Velastin magic circle is working properly. Laser gang is chained by iron chains." It worked. He's sweating as he looks at the grotesque demon, but he feels like he's being crushed by the pressure. Al Boxer looked at Cordelia, just as I predicted about the boss in the middle of the endgame. Is Cordelia okay? In contrast to Al Boxer, she's not worried at all. She's really excited just staring at that demon. Al Boxer hesitantly called her a sorry Yellowstorm. Cordelia's eyes lit up as she said, "There, Al Boxer." There, Al Boxer wondered, Cordelia pointed to the demon. "That's at the waist, the sun necklace." Boxer looks pale. "This girl." Cordelia is still excited, handing him her staff. "Whoa, I'll lend you my staff, so use it to take it." Boxer helplessly says, her head is full of thoughts of stealing it. Cordelia's eyes light up as she urges Al Boxer hurry while it's asleep. Al Boxer shows a speechless expression. "Yeah, but it's better not to touch it directly." Al Boxer shakily takes the staff and approaches the demon. Cordelia stands behind, holding her breath in anticipation. "Come on, steal it, steal it." Al Boxer smiles. Okay, we're almost there." Suddenly, both of them freeze and as the demon stirs, casting a huge shadow. The demon laser gang opens his red eyes, looking at the two trying to steal his necklace. Now both of them are silent, not knowing what to say. Cordelia yells, "We're caught! Run!" Boxer replies, "Right, we got the item." The demon laser gang angrily grits his teeth. "You lowly insects." He roars, making both of them run in fear. Suddenly, Al Boxer falls to the ground. He turns back to the demon. Even though it's sealed, the power keeps him from standing. He glances at his legs. "Damn it, my legs are numb. I can't stand up." Cordelia shouts in front of the demon, challenging it. "You can't move at all because you're restrained. Don't mess with me." Then Cordelia steps into the magic circle, shouting, "Magic arrow of wondrous blue light, help me control the demon." Al Boxer is astonished and open-mouthed. "Are you crazy? Why are you messing with it?" Suddenly, a green circle surrounds Cordelia, surprising Al Boxer and raising questions. He looks at Cordelia in shock. Effect level up impossible. He wonders, by principle, Laser Gang is a powerful demon that can only be challenged mid to late game. This is introduced in Chapter 3. Normally it's a boss, and we can't try to attack it in our current state. But now we can attack it using the method called the Velestine Magic Circle. She can get enough combat experience to level up just by dealing a little damage. And because of the level gap, it's a lot. Both are silent as the system calculates the experience, thinking like gamers. Then both smile in satisfaction for passing the level. A scream echoes, "How dare you!" The demon roars in pain at me. Cordelia runs wildly, yelling, "Magic arrow, magic arrow, magic arrow." She raises her staff, sending Al Boxer into a frenzy. Then magic arrow, magic arrow, magic arrow. Cordelia joyfully yells, "Awesome, I leveled up." Cordelia joyfully yells, "Awesome, I leveled up." Honestly, I just planned to pick up a few items and leave, but who knew we'd get this lucky? Al Boxer is sweating in shock. This person just attacked the unchained parts of the monster. What demonic accuracy. The monster growls, "You lowly humans, do you know who I am? Do you know who your father is?" Al Boxer smiles. "We'll see." His voice rings with determination. She's thinking about leveling up and immediately changing her stance. "Me too, I want to level up." He raises the emblem in his hand. "May the blessing of the sun god Solaris be with us." He firmly holds the emblem. Glory shines in the dawn. May the night fade away. Light from the emblem shines. His voice still rings strong. "Awaken, rise, and shine my fingertips." Al Boxer thinks, "The illness prevents me from using both magic and martial arts because the yang energy flow is blocked." He stares ahead. "I'll win with these items." He boldly charges forward. The monster Al Boxer joyfully says, "All right, I leveled up." The demon grits his teeth. "You brats." Cordelia runs in surprise. "Did you memorize the entire Solaris prayer?" Alboxer replies, yeah, because the Velastin magic circle can only be used once. So this is our only chance to defeat the sealed laser gang. Oh, Cordelia plays along. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Alboxer urges, we have to hurry. We only have about 2 minutes left. Both yell together, magic arrow, blessing of the sun god Solaris. Laser gang pains you tiny humans. The clashes continue to echo in the space. The demon angrily says, I'll remember your faces, your souls are etched in my mind. He vows, on the day I'm freed, I'll make you suffer so much, you'll wish you were dead. A challenging voice says, we'll see about that. The demon replies, you tiny creature, listen up, perk your ears. Laser gang struggles in his chains. You tiny creatures, I'll definitely meet you again. His voice still booms, I'll definitely meet you again. Judicator raises his hand. Okay, see you at gate 7 then. Cordelia runs and gives a thumbs up. Nice meeting you. See you next time. The two of them stand silently in the large building. Cordelia sighs in relief, smiling at Judicator. I knew it, but you're really crazy. He immediately replies, you're not much better, you Storm. Cordelia excitedly says, I'm gradually melting the energy blocking the meridians. Judicator ponders, with the sun's power, so it might take a while. I'm pretty tired. Cordelia accepts, oh, then I'll wait. Now let's go. We got the item and we've leveled up. He puts his arm around her. Yeah, let's go. Cordelia glares at him. What are you doing? Want to get beat like that old guy? Judicator looks at her. I was just going to ask you to support me a bit. His voice shakes. My legs are shaking. I can't walk. Cordelia laughs awkwardly. Got it? Her voice echoes. You should have called for a ride back. Her voice echoes. That night, when Judicator and Cordelia return home, they're grounded for 10 days. 2 new items appear: the sun necklace achieved by Garius, the reward of the sun god Solari continuously releasing energy. The apprentice mage's wand, which Earl Che custom ordered for Cordelia. The atmosphere is peaceful around a large building. Judicator lies exhausted on the bed, recalling the training time. My whole body is sore. I can't believe running 10 laps in the training ground is this tiring. He thinks that damn blocked yin and yang disease. He looks at the sun necklace on the table. Thanks to the sun necklace, my body feels a bit better. Thanks to the sun necklace, my body feels a bit better. Judicator thinks if this world is real, our top goal might be to survive. The end of Legend of Heroes 2. Blades will definitely be destroyed by the Great Summoning Ritual. Countless angels and demons will be offered in Armageddon to stop the Great Summoning Ritual. Judicator helplessly says, and to achieve that, the combination of a weak guy who breaks after 10 laps and a mage. It sounds ridiculous. I'm done for. He closes his eyes. Anyway, no matter how impatient this is, the time to lay the foundation for growth. He associates with Cordelia. With Cordelia, Judicator slams his hand on the table, pondering. From when we found the necklace until now, it's been a week. My grounding with Cordelia only has 3 days left. I need to start preparing for what's next. A's probably going to be happy about it. Cordelia suddenly feels a chill, hugging her arms in confusion. What was that? My back is so cold. She thinks there's still quite a while before the first main event in Legend of Heroes. Cordelia recalls Judicator's teasing words. Hey, second place, you don't remember the Velastin magic circle, do you? Even if you're not second, you wouldn't remember. She suspects, what is Alboxer plotting? Suddenly, there's a knock at her door. Cordelia says, come in. Dahlia excitedly holds a love letter and peeks in. Miss Cordelia, you have a love letter from young Master Udell. Cordelia thinks he's not polite at all. In Cordelia's imagination, he doesn't take responsibility for his words. She imagines Juden's arrogant look. Even if I'm not polite, I have the noble title. She hesitates but asks Dahlia, why are you so excited? Dahlia replies, good news. Dahlia covers her mouth. The lady hasn't eaten much these days because of the Rutt family worries. Will this letter help ease some of your worries? She thinks the lady must be sad. After all, you couldn't meet Lord Rutt. Cordelia's eyes sparkle as she looks at the desserts. These desserts are super expensive in the modern world. Now you can try it out. It's a bit over the top compared to the real thing. I eat great and sleep soundly, and I gained a full 1 kilo. Dahlia L. said remorsefully, I'm sorry for getting angry during the picnic that day. She recalled seeing the lady leap off the Baokan cliff, clutching her fiancé. I thought that was a rather reckless move. She recalled seeing the young lady jump down from Baokan cliff and hug her fiancé. I thought this action was quite reckless. I followed to protect the young lady, so I couldn't stop worrying. She smiled. But then I realized that the young lady always has someone to treat with sincerity. Dahlia recalls Maya holding a book. That day, Maya taught me a big lesson. She thinks that book gave me a strong emotion. Dahlia grits her teeth, thinking, what is this maid saying? Dahlia smiles brightly, thinking that young Master Rudd also sent a meeting letter. I wonder what fancy words he'll use this time. She hands the letter to Cordelia. Miss, read it quickly. Cordelia takes the letter out. I need to read it quickly and set it aside. She shakily reads the letter. To Miss Cordelia, the one I long for every night. She almost swears, damn. Dahlia's face lights up. It must be great. Cordelia irritably looks at the letter. This is a horror joke. It's just a horror joke, right? Suddenly she startles and looks at the letter. This is the last line of the letter. 2 days from now, 2 p.m. at the confession room of the Baruna Holy Temple. She thinks at least he has some brains. The Baruna Holy Temple. The god of secrets, Baruna the protector and watcher, keeps secrets. Cordelia recalls, the Temple of Baruna isn't just in the Empire. It's built throughout the 6 lands, so confession rooms appear for people to exchange private or important secrets. Is there anything else there? I don't think he came to confess to seek forgiveness for teasing me all this time. She recalls his image teasing her. Oh, look, it's the second place storm. She thinks, he really said that. If it's Boxer, he's probably just wanting to meet. Dahlia stares into space. Dahlia, 2 days from now at the Baruna Holy Temple, I want to go out. No, with young Master Udell. Dahlia looks admiring. Oh my, you're putting your hands together looking at Cordelia. A date proposal right after the grounding ends. Dahlia's voice continues. Young Master Udell must really want to see Our Lady. Cordelia irritably says, what is Al Boxer trying to verify? Her voice echoes shyly. Anyway, in 2 days, I'll go to the Baruna Holy Temple. Dahlia marvels. Oh, even a secret date is so meaningful. A secret date at the temple of the god who protects secrets. Dahlia grabs the lady's hand. Don't worry, I'll turn a blind eye. This time I'll make sure you two have private space. Cordelia thinks every response is exhausting. 2 days later, the carriage travels on the quiet street. The carriage stops. Dahlia looks at Cordelia. So good luck, miss. I'll just stand guard nearby so that private spot is all yours. Cordelia replies, thanks. Dahlia waves. Have a great date, Miss Cordelia. 30 minutes later, I'll come pick you up. Cordelia thinks a date numb. It's just a mission. Her voice echoes, it's just a mission. This is that pair mission. Anything important has to be repeated twice. Cordelia Che steps into the sanctuary. She looks around confusedly. A voice calls out from behind the door, come in. Juden Bale waves his hand. Hi, Cordelia, you're right on time. Cordelia Che stares at him. Hi, Al Boxer. How did you borrow the confession room? Do you have some dirt on the priest or something? His voice echoes in the air. What do you mean by dirt? You'll make people think badly of me if you say that. He laughs. What's the point of having money? Use it. I'm the son of a count, after all. Cordelia Che puts her hands on her hips. If anyone heard this from a 17-year-old rich kid like you, your family would be shocked. He replies, they're still not back from their expedition, so no need to worry. The cathedral is quiet in the sunlight. Cordelia Che looks around and asks, why did you call me here? There's nothing here, right? Juden Bale asks. Do you think I called you for no reason? He speaks, making Cordelia Che confused. I called you here because of the hidden mission. Cordelia Che recalls the content from the Hero Legends fan site and questions him. The discussion board for Hero Legends doesn't mention anything about the Baruna Sanctuary. What are you talking about? Juden Bale agrees. Yeah, how could there be info if only I know about it? Am I supposed to update all the hidden info without being sure about it? Cordelia Che slams the book on the table. She points at him. Wait a minute, so you didn't join any guild at all? Juden Bale is annoyed. Don't point at my face. I update them myself. It's all stuff everyone already knows. Has he updated everything? Both of them look at each other in confusion. Cordelia Che frustratedly holds her head. Henry, everything's like this again. She yells frantically. No matter how much I hunt, I can't catch up to you. Juden Bale stammers. I didn't think you'd blurt out all your secrets so naively. Cordelia Che turns to look at him. Enough, what's the mission really? Is there any hidden mission here? Don't be like that time you took me here to find the sun necklace, even though it was yours. Juden Bale rests his chin, thinking, wasn't she happy about leveling up after beating the laser gang? He explains, this one involves both of us. There's a dungeon book hidden deep in the sanctuary's library. He pictures the dungeon book, Dungeon books teleport the opener to a dungeon. The dungeon you get teleported to could be a simulated one or sometimes a real one. Judenbale winks. The reward for exploring the dungeon is skill books that let you learn martial arts and magic skills. For martial arts, it guides you step by step through the techniques, but for magic books, I'm not sure what skills you'll get since I've never explored a dungeon as a mage. Cordelia Che looks at him suspiciously. You've never explored a dungeon. So yeah, Judenbale winks at her. Yeah, that means you're the first mage to explore the simulated dungeon of Baruna Sanctuary. She murmurs, first one. Cordelia Che proudly clasps her hands. I'm the first. She gets excited. All right, where's that dungeon book? In the sanctuary's library. She silently resolves, I want to go right now. Judenbale thinks to himself, she's really pumped, he replies. Look over there, let's go. I already found it before you got here. Dahlia Che points to the book on the table. She looks at him delightedly. That's my Al Boxer, all right. Now let's go right away. He looks at her. Yeah, let's go. Dahlia L stands guard outside, suspiciously eyeing the light coming from the room. The book opens. A mystical golden light fills the room. In a dark space, the Baruna Sanctuary dungeon book, you're entering a simulated dungeon. Cordelia Che breathes heavily exhausted. She grits her teeth. My head hurts so much. I didn't think teleportation would make me dizzy. Judenbale asks caringly, are you okay? She punches the pillar in frustration. I'm not okay. Why aren't you affected at all and just chilling, making me mad? He quickly soothes her. How would I know? Come here so I can pat your back. Her voice lightens up in the dungeon. Finally, I'm alive again. Cordelia Che looks around. So this is inside the Baruna Sanctuary dungeon book, right? Judenbale bends down to open his bag. Yeah, it looks just like in the game. He laughs because it's a simulated dungeon. If you die, you just get kicked out of the book, so it's pretty safe, right? She snaps angrily. I'm on server 2. I'll clear it on the first try, so don't say discouraging stuff like that. She pinches his arm, and besides, she grits her teeth. If you get hit, it hurts just as much, so what do you mean by safe? Judenbale winces. Ouch! We can get real combat skills without worrying about dying, so this is still a win. She replies to him, you're just saying all the good things because it's for you. He talks about real combat skills. It seems like the 9 yen blockage is getting better. Judenbale smiles. Yeah, a bit, and you're here too. Cordelia Che looks at him blankly. She's suspicious. What do you mean, why bring me up all of a sudden? He replies, I mean exactly that. Instead of just hunting, I'll look at people, events, and things. I usually dig deep into game data and get the achievements. I'm the strategist, and you're the queen of the battlefield, getting points through basic damage. Cordelia J crosses her arms. If you only count the monsters killed, the Golden Storm would double your boxer count. Have you never heard that before? Judenbale replies, because I brought the dungeon book, which only I knew about. I suggest you take me along to fight in this dungeon. Cordelia J says seriously, so you mean because you called for the duel, you want to carry me? She drops her hands. Fine, this time I'm confident in what I brought. She bends down to look for her stuff. She turns back. Come on. Judenbale turns around. No way. Cordelia Che holds out her hand. Magic stones. Magic inscription stones let the user cast spells without chanting 5 times. She gets excited. Look, when we fought the laser gang, I could only attack with magic arrows, but this time it's different. She winks. When you called me, I thought something was up, so I hid these in my dress. Judenbale is impressed. Magic stones. Cordelia Che proudly. These aren't just ordinary magic stones. They were made by my father, one of the 4 great pillars of the North and the founder of the Divine Magic Society, the Che family. Judenbale is in awe. Whoa, that feels reassuring. He thinks to himself, this must be one of Cordelia's trump cards. Cordelia Che boasts, right feels safer, doesn't it? Judenbale ponders, seeing her brag about everything from the start, just like the Golden Storm from the Hero Legends forum. He says, yeah, it's great, but because it's yours. He hands her a stack of papers. I'll give you these. I'll give you these. Cordelia Chase looks at the stack of papers. Beginner magic scrolls. Papers that activate magic without chanting. Tear to use once. She widens her eyes. These are 1-star magic circles. Are they light element? Judenbale winks. I can't just sit back behind you. So I made some beginner magic scrolls with different elements. You can use them at your level. Cordelia Chase looks at the paper in amazement. It makes her look at Judenbale, who's smug. Crazy. She looks at Judenbale, who's smug. So that means he memorized all of this. Juden Bale is curious. What can't you draw magic circles at this level? He thinks to himself. You're rank 2 and your family is the famous Divine Magic Society. Cordelia Chase forces a smile. Of course I can. Juden Bale thinks to himself. Look how awkward she is. Teasing her is fun. He suppresses a laugh. Ahem. So can you channel magic energy into them? Right now they're just useless papers. Cordelia Chase stammers. My magic. Wait. First she's surprised from behind. What do you mean a mage on the front line? Juden Bale covers his mouth. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I'm someone who can't use mana because of the 9 yen blockage. Cordelia Chase is angry. Damn 9 yen blockage. Did you lose the sun necklace before you could use it for 10 days? He replies, I told you it doesn't recover right away. Come on, don't get mad. Juden Bale pulls out a few bottles. I even brought some mana potions and armor for you. Cordelia Chase is angry. You plan to use me as a magic battery from the start. Deep in the dungeon, Cordelia Chase is frustrated. Those stupid mana potions. In the game, I could wipe them out easily. But in reality, it feels really hard. Juden Bale sweats. Help channel the magic onto them all. Good job, he wonders. But are you sure you don't need the armor? Cordelia Chase replies, my outfit is at my weight limit. If I add the armor's weight, I won't be able to move. Got it. He glances at her. Got it. Got it. Juden Bale thinks to himself, look at her. I wonder if she's worried. This is probably her first real combat experience. The laser gang was sealed, so it's not quite real combat, Cordelia Chase murmurs when I woke up. 1 hit to wipe them out as a mage. 1 hit. 1 hit, Juden Bale recalls. At the same time, we weren't thinking straight. Because we were too busy leveling up. So tease her a bit to relax. I should tease her a bit to relax. Suddenly strange noises come from the corner, making the two of them alert. Juden Bale glances at that corner. When you slash left, they'll swarm out immediately. Get ready. Cordelia Chase sighs sadly. Knowing that in advance is good. Juden Bale looks at her tensely. Her face is stiff. He thinks to himself, I'm a little worried, but she'll be fine because I'll support her from behind. I'm sure the first element to appear here is he quickly tears the paper in his hand. Darkness. A magic array appears. It surrounds the monsters, making them scream in pain. Light, he points. Go for it. Golden Storm. I choose you. Cordelia Chase stammers. Storm, storm, Juden Bale thinks to himself. Even if she's stuttering, she has an automatic reaction to jokes. Cordelia Chase raises her wand. Magic arrow. 5 rapid strikes. Juden Bale shouts. The defense troops will appear from the next area. After hearing that noise, this time they're earth element. The monsters roar angrily. Cordelia Chase turns around. Impressed. Good info. She stares ahead. Don't rush. Time's not up yet. They need to get closer. But noises from deep in the dungeon echo back. Cordelia Chase thinks to herself, the best moment is when the enemy enters my sight. Right now. She raises her wand. Fall and tumble. The monster shrieks angrily. She's furious. Then binding right. The monster is bound and screams in agony. Juden Bale hands her a mana bottle. After making them fall, combine with binding magic. Your specialty. Cordelia Chase ponders while looking at the mana bottle. Juden Bale explains, while she's drinking. After you finish drinking, gather them up. Not like that time with the laser gang. His face turns dangerous. These low-level monsters need to be eliminated for experience. Cordelia Chase smirks. I wish I had an experienced doubler potion to drink before wiping them out. A level-up notification sounds 5 hours later at the Baruna simulated dungeon. Cordelia Chase complains, this damn dungeon. In the game, all I had to do was press a bunch of buttons. But in reality, my feet hurt like hell. She thinks to herself, I shouldn't have worn heels. Juden Bale reflects, I think I've heard this before. He asked her, Are you tired? Cordelia Chase is suspicious. What? He stammers. Are you tired? We can rest along the way. But that wastes time. This is your first real training. It might be a bit overwhelming for you. Cordelia Chase looks at him curiously. She thinks annoyedly. Annoying, because this is the first real combat training like this. He's asking me, even though he knows it's tough. She recalls. So from the start, getting here was a miracle. The monsters' levels are higher, and they have more elements. So the difficulty should be extreme. But hunting like this is easy, so why complain? The dungeon book image appears in her mind. The Baruna Sanctuary dungeon book from Juden Bale's map. The main monsters of the 15th dungeon book reuse. Season 1, Darkness Element, Fire Element, Water Element, Earth Element, Cordelia Chase tells herself. His knowledge of monsters' weaknesses and elements. Even knowledge of magic arrays is perfect. She recalls, not just dungeon strategies, but magic support was great throughout. She remembers the image of him handing her the mana bottle. He considered and prepared everything perfectly. The image of Jude and Bale is clear in Cordelia Chase's mind. This guy, does he play support characters often? Or even if it's annoying, do you need to be that good to be number one? Jude and Bale stares at her. Her expression shows she has a lot of complaints. If she speaks up, I can point out the mistakes. So maybe she's holding back. I can guess from her facial gestures. It's funny. He speaks up. Even with mistakes, should we take a break before continuing? Cordelia Chase refuses. No, why? My feet hurt because I've walked a lot. I feel sick from drinking so much mana potion. She clenches her fist. And I'm super mad because your level is higher than mine. Because you always get the last hit. Besides that, I'm fine. Jude and Bale is scared. Not fine, you're at rank 8. He comforts her. Now at rank 7. It's always like that. But at rank 2, you must be bummed. She snaps. You're so annoying. Yeah. Jude and Bale smiles. Besides that, are you okay? Cordelia Chase is still annoyed. Yeah. He covers his mouth and laughs. All right, let's go. The boss room is right ahead. Cordelia Chase shouts. Stop laughing, you jerk. Get ready. Jude and Bale replies. All right, I said it. I've never taken it down as a mage, so I don't know what the magic reward is. Cordelia Chase wonders. Anyway, we've been in the dungeon for a while. How much time has passed? In reality, I think 5 hours outside is the same as in here. Jude and Bale calculates. 20 minutes in the Baruna Sanctuary dungeon book is 1 minute outside. So you recall, since this dungeon doesn't exist in reality, but in the simulation, the time flow is different from reality. Cordelia Chase is suspicious. 20 minutes, time passes pretty fast. Dahlia said she'd pick me up after 30 minutes. Will I be okay? Jude and Bale ponders. That, he says confidently, making Cordelia Chase suspicious. Sometimes you don't need to worry too much. Suddenly, a roar comes from ahead, attracting their attention. Cordelia Chase is amazed. It's clearly advertising that the boss is behind this wall. She's very satisfied, as expected from a long-running game. She speaks up. And the boss is Mao Lang, Cordelia Chase echoes. Countless goblins and the boss is Mao Lang. And Mao Lang has the thunder element. So a new element monster appears, you say. Jude and Bale claps in agreement. Exactly. As expected from the Golden Storm, the loiterer. It's not just thunder element, it's also fast. He opens his bag. And one more thing. So now we have to keep moving. He opens his bag. And one more thing, Cordelia Chase wonders. What Jude and Bale instructs her. Don't attack until I signal. Just focus on dodging. She's confused. Why? Wait, she recalls the previous fights. Don't tell me you're going to steal the last hit again. Jude and Bale is unhappy. What kind of person do you think I am? He explains. I wouldn't do that with a boss we barely managed to kill. Even if we team up. Cordelia Chase angrily shouts. I knew it. You intentionally stole the last hits on those goblins, didn't you? She asks again. So what? She's curious. Is it different from a normal Mao Lang? There must be a reason you made me wait, right? Jude and Bale sighs. He puts the papers away. He smiles. Not really. It's just something I need to prepare first. The door creaks open. The angry roar continues to echo. Cordelia Chase and Jude and Bale stare at the door. Level 17 Mao Lang appears imposingly. It stares straight at Jude and Bale. Cordelia Chase smiles. It's looking at you. He replies, I know. It seems like it intends to attack me first. Mao Lang approaches. Cordelia Chase is on alert. It's coming. Jude and Bale gets ready to fight it. Mao Lang charges wildly at the two of them. Jude and Bale shouts. Dodge. He glances at the Golden Storm. Cordelia Chase smirks, holding the paper. I already knew that wolf-type monsters are dumb and only attack in a straight line. She tears the paper. Taste this. 2 counterspells. Chains immediately wrap around Mao Lang's legs. Double binding. It becomes slippery with Cordelia Chase's shout. And lubrication. Mao Lang screams in pain. Cordelia Chase raises her wand. Mao Lang's fast movements are the most notable in fighting it. But it also has an extremely predictable weakness. Its attacks. The chains still tightly bind Mao Lang. She thinks to herself, if I even use this item. Because the binding time for Mao Lang is too short, she concludes it's increasingly disadvantageous for us to drag it out. So she shouts, Boxer, run in for the finish. He needs to finish his task quickly. Jude and Bale smiles, flipping through the papers in his hand. Okay, so from now on, every time you tear a paper, I'll start my spell. He shouts, Thunder! Mao Lang roars in pain. He shouts again. Cordelia complains annoyedly. What the hell? Why are you attacking after telling me to stop? She suddenly realizes, wait, Thunder. Suddenly, Juden Bale calls her name loudly. Cordelia. He quickly warns, it's charging at you. Cordelia Chase jumps away quickly. Mao Lang attacks and misses behind. She and Juden Bale sigh. Cordelia Chase glances at him. That's weird, but what was that? I'm pretty sure he attacked it repeatedly. So why does it look like it took no damage? She looks at Mao Long still roaring fiercely. Moreover, what was that feeling? Something's off. Juden Bale calls out, confusing her, still not enough. Cordelia, he tells her, use water element magic. She replies quickly, I know. Cordelia Chase lifts the sparkling blue gem. She shouts, water column. A strong water stream hits Mao Lang, making it scream miserably. Juden Bale excitedly, good one more hit. As expected, the combination works. We just need to push a bit more. Cordelia Chase is annoyed, glancing at him. Am I annoyed because he's getting so hyped? Juden Bale continues shouting, one more thunder. Mao Long is attacked again, roaring. Cordelia Chase is still bothered. No, not just that. Inside me, there's this strange discomfort. She can't focus because of the background music in her head, thunder, thunder. She recalls from earlier feeling like she heard Imagine Dragons playing in her head. What is that? Is it related to the song? And what about thunder? Why thunder? Cordelia Chase hesitates. And what do I do with this scene? No. Here she recalls the scene when she said, and Mao Lang has the thunder element. So a new element monster appears. At that time, Juden Bale responded, as expected from the Golden Storm, the Loiterer. It's not just thunder element. It's also fast. So now we have to keep moving. Cordelia Chase's surprised mouth agape. She suddenly realizes, wait, are we fighting a thunder element with thunder? She asks, Juden Bale, wait. Cordelia Chase is shocked as Mao Lang screams. She looks at the scene in front of her, thinking, even if we hit the monster with thunder element spells multiple times, Mao Lang is still roaring. Suddenly it stands up and gets even stronger. Cordelia Chase thinks it's just charging up its power. Juden Bale's voice pipes up, exactly, it's fully awakened. Now, Cordelia Chase is furious, scolding him, is what you had to prepare making the boss stronger. Juden Bale explains, defeating an awakened Mao Lang is the hidden requirement to get a B-grade skill book. She complains, you should have told me that beforehand. Juden Bale smiles, that wouldn't be fun. He laughs to ease things, hey, take some more magic arrays. Let's handle this guy together. And get the skill book. She snatches it, tears of paper in his surprise, burning flames. The monster behind, she glances at Juden Bale with intent. I'll kill you. Juden Bale quickly soothes, okay, I'll tell you next time. She snaps, I hate you. He quickly agrees, yeah, we're in a bit of trouble, so you can yell at me later. He warns, Cordelia Chase, it's coming. Mao Long growls and advances toward the two. She recalls that Mao Long and wolf-type monsters have a common trait. She realizes strong legs and straight-line attacks like a bullet being fired. She considers, but because the attack path is so simple, as long as you time it right, you can dodge. So regardless of level, as long as you have good control, this monster is easy to take down. But games in reality are completely different. This monster is easy to take down. Mao Lang charges fiercely. Juden Bale shouts, Cordelia. Cordelia Chase dodges the monster quickly. She stares at it as it changes direction using the pillar as a launch pad. She grips her wand tightly, utilizing its attack. It's definitely upgraded, all because of Boxer. It's about to launch the next attack by changing direction this time. Where will it jump to? She calculates, I can keep up with its attack with my eyes, but I'm not sure if I can dodge again. Mao Lang still faces Cordelia Chase, but I'm not sure if I can dodge again. Juden Bale is on alert, holding the magic array and advancing. Cordelia Chase murmurs something. Suddenly, Juden Bale falls and the magic arrays fly everywhere. Cordelia Chase is shocked. Why did you fall on the steps? Mao Lang steps forward strongly. It attacks toward him in a flash. Cordelia Chase thinks, now damn it, she casts magic. She raises her wand, Ow Boxer. Mao Lang's claws are about to strike Juden Bale. Right then, a series of attacks hit it from behind, but it doesn't flinch. Cordelia Chase is shocked at the scene. Did it nullify my magic? She and Juden Bale stare at Mao Lang in front. Cordelia Chase panics. What should I do? She remembers the time she and Juden Bale adventured together, the missions they did, and his smile. It's too fast. I can't stop it. She desperately shouts, Out Boxer! At the same time, a loud explosion rings out. Suddenly, Cordelia Chase is confused about what happened. Mao Lang rides on the ground. Cordelia Chase quickly covers her nose. What? Wait, what is that smell? Juden Bale explains. Dogs have a sense of smell 10,000 times stronger than humans. Right now, this wolf is definitely enhanced after awakening. He holds out the smelly bag. There's no way it can handle this. This is a special gas bomb made by burning a few things. He winks. Even with all the skills you get from goblins, you can't level up enough to beat an awakened Mao Lang the normal way. So I prepared a few things to fight Mao Lang. It's feasible since this is a game, not reality, and trump cards should be used in the final minutes. He quickly adds, of course, he thinks to himself, I was also put in a tight spot. She looks at him calmly. After seeing how pathetic he looks, it's giving me a headache. The image of the loitering gamer. Cordelia frowns at him. He looks disheveled. Her image is also that of the loitering gamer. She realizes, I know I succeeded, but this stinks too much. But he's right as expected from Korea. Mao Lang on server 1, I could never beat it. She speaks up, anyway, we need to kill it now. Juden Bale agrees, yeah. Mao Lang is defeated on the ground. Cordelia Che holds the gem, smiling, bad wolf time for your medicine. She shouts, sinkhole. Mao Lang falls into the huge hole. Continuous screams ring out. Juden Bale quickly pushes her away. Time for us to say goodbye. Cordelia Che is confused. Wait, I'm so confused. I forgot this is a simulated dungeon. She just remembered, even if you die here, you just get kicked out. I was worried about him for no reason. Juden Bale is thrilled, level up effect. We took it down without any issues. He glances at where Mao Lang was defeated. We took it down without any issues. He glances at where Mao Lang was defeated. But then a system mound rings, surprising Cordelia Chase. You have received the title of Mao Lang Slayer before level 10. She is shocked what Juden Bale realizes. In games besides experience, they give titles like this. It's just like in the game. The system announces all stats permanently increase by 1. Did you hear that sound? He replies, yeah, I don't know if it's a sound or what. It's like a bell ringing in my head. She joyfully, I got a title too out of nowhere. Awesome, Juden Bale smiles, glad she likes it. This will probably make her forget about me provoking the wolf without telling her. He laughs, flattering, you're right. Dahlia L recalls Maya holding a book. Now let's go get the reward. Little Cordelia J also smiles satisfied as she watches him fall in front of her. Angry, she points at him. First promise me, you'll always let me know when you're about to provoke a boss. Juden Bale agrees. All right, I promise. He thinks to himself, so she won't make me fall. Cordelia J fumes, you jerk always scaring people like that. He waves his hand, apologizing, okay. Juden Bale tells himself he can't tell her he failed to lure that wolf since it seems like it was targeting her more. He looks up anyway and glances toward the 2 rewards floating in the air. For 1 by 2 people. At the same time, he catches the 2 falling books. Cordelia J excitedly, I love moments like this. Juden Bale looks at her fondly as she opens the item. Oh, she replies, yeah, it gets me so excited thinking about what I'll get. He says, you already knew what skill you'd get, right? He bends down to look at the skill book called 36 Heavenly Steps. 36. Heavenly Steps learn B-graded techniques specialized in dodging. It includes 36 individual steps, and depending on mastery, it can upgrade to invincible forms. Cordelia J is suspicious, 36. Heavenly Steps sounds similar to the 12 Thunder God steps you use, right? Juden Bale smiles. Now you know some move names. He thinks to himself, that's because 12 Thunder God steps is an upgraded version of 36 Heavenly Steps. She's sharp. This is just a piece of info I need to know to master the skill. He ponders 36 Heavenly Steps is a B-grade stance. The next level is A-grade 24 Wine Steps, then S-grade 12 Thunder God steps. And if you evolve it further, it becomes the ultimate stance. Pure Tao 9 Yang Heavenly Shadow Steps. Juden Bale stares at the book 9 Yang Heavenly Shadow Steps gives you endless variations with just 9 steps. It's something even I haven't mastered as boxer. Cordelia J excitedly, all right, now it's my turn. Will I open some weird skill that boxer doesn't know? He smiles awkwardly. Look how excited she is. The book opens and a strange light appears. Cordelia J joyfully exclaims, Fire Arrow learned B-grade, a fire element arrow spell. She happily holds up the book. Awesome, I love it. Juden Bale smiles. I'm glad you like it. He sits on the steps. Rewards are all done. Now let's think about going back. Rest your head a bit. Cordelia J exhaustedly lies on the floor. Okay, she looks at the ceiling. Anyway, the sun necklace did its job well, right? She continues, "You've been feeling drained these past few days." Juden Bale smiles flattering. "Of course. I have that item thanks to a special someone." Cordelia J snaps, "Smooth talker." He ponders, "The 9-yin blockage is gradually healing. And we're both a level 10 now." She agrees. He continues, "So we should move on to the next event." Juden Bale rests his chin, thinking the next event is, both say together, the Evil Hand Society invasion event. Juden Bale praises, as expected from a game nerd. "You knew right away." Cordelia J points at him. "Hey, I said that first." In Hero Alliance 2, each character has their own story. Of course, no matter which character you play, the ending is the world's destruction. Besides that, the story is rumored to show how morally depraved it is. This is Cordelia J's main story. Cordelia J's story begins when she decides to join her group of friends, 12 kids from the northern families, on an adventure. As mentioned, Yudo's story starts half a year after Cordelia. The tutorial is very peaceful at the Urche estate. Side quests will frequently appear after leaving the estate and experiencing hidden quests that players can discover. On the day of the big event, it's the gathering of the Friends group under the hand of the demon worshippers, the Evil Hand Society. The peaceful meeting turns into chaos. Most of the 12 Northern family kids attending the party are killed, kidnapped, or brainwashed. In that chaos, Cordelia barely escapes, losing her close guards and the friends she reunited with after so long. It's a very dark story where you start alone in a wild forest after a long escape. Since this is the main event, you can't do anything but skip it or ignore it. Fan sites start appearing. Juden Bale ponders, in half a month, the Evil Hand Society will attack the Friends group. According to the story, Cordelia is the only one who survives the attack. He complains, "There's no reason to follow that stupid story." Cordelia J agrees, of course. She clenches her fist. Following the story just leads to a bloody ending. Juden Bale says, "We have to play for the happy ending, and to do that first, we have to stop the Evil Hand Society." She agrees, right. We can't lose strong allies like the 12 Northern Alliances. She grits her teeth. And Dahlia, too. She recalls Dahlia's image. "I'll protect her." Cordelia J is determined. "I won't let her sacrifice herself protecting Cordelia like an NPC." Juden Bale looks at her curiously. He ponders, Cordelia J and Dahlia L. One Cordelia bites her nail, murmuring, "And Dahlia." Dahlia is one of the most important people to her, always helping, and by her side no matter what. "I'll protect Dahlia, too." Udell silently looks at Cordelia. He recognizes the name right away. He realizes the person Cordelia is referring to because she's role-playing from the real world. It doesn't mean the memories from her character in Bliss are gone. She has both memory streams present in Hero Alliance 2 in her mind. Udell sees the image of young Cordelia playing with the housekeeper in the sunny yard. That's when Dahlia still had her long hair. And those memories are unfolding here with Cordelia. The guard she sees as a sister has brought back the game memories. And because of that, it also creates the future vision where she loses her family. "I see her still strong as the Golden Storm." He ponders, Cordelia's violent story affects her more than any AI I've seen. Suddenly, Cordelia speaks. She's still strong as the Golden Storm, but in the end, she's just Cordelia. Suddenly, Cordelia speaks, twirling a curl of hair, her voice a bit hesitant. "Oh, by the way, in the game, Juden Bale couldn't attend the Friends gathering because of his 9-yin blockage. But that doesn't matter much, right?" Udell boasts, "Both still remember how happy the Lace Gang was when they got the gold necklace with the red diamond on time. That's way better, because Lady Cordelia helped him collect the sun necklace." Seeing him so smug, Cordelia frowns. "Liar, your mouth is as sharp as a bone." He smiles sarcastically. "Did I say anything wrong?" She sighs, "Whatever. Anyway, since you're a bit better now, you'll, She still twirls the curl, her voice hesitant. "You'll, He is surprised by the offer. "Next, come with me there." Udell feels like he has the upper hand, but thinks agreeing right away would lose value. He smirks, pretending to think, let me see." Cordelia looks at him anxiously, her eyes flashing with menace. Udell attending the Friends gathering isn't in the game's story. He says to Cordelia J, "It looks like we've got the rewards." 2 books float in the air, a B-rank skill book that lets you learn a skill just by reading it. He smiles to himself, "But the reason I rushed to fix it is to change the story right from the start." She doesn't need to worry that much. Pretending to be reluctant, he smirks. "Well, since Lady Cordelia is so kind, I'll go along with it." Cordelia hears that and gets furious. She jumps up and yells, "Oh, don't say that anymore. It's giving me chills." A new day arrives. The training ground echoes with footsteps and heavy breathing. Ha ha huff and puff. Udell is running, sweat dripping down his jaw. Huff, huff, ha ha. Udell stops his steps, slowing until he halts. Udell straightens up. The early morning sun shines on his flushed face with sweat glistening on his chin. A voice calls out, "What a great day, Victor." He looks at him with a gentle smile. "Your performance is improving. Your physical strength is progressing every day. At this rate, you could start learning the family martial arts of the Bayo clan as soon as the count returns, all right?" Victor Cromgill, a retired knight who served the family for many years. He wipes his face with a towel, catching his breath as he replies, "Ha ha, I'm really looking forward to it." Victor looks at him with a mix of surprise and admiration. It's amazing, even though the kid's totally wiped out. While wiping his face, Udell suddenly realizes, this towel's material is just like those sports towels from the real world. He falls silent, his eyes softening as if he'd forgotten the pain he's endured just to look forward to learning that martial art. After a moment, he gently advises, "Don't get discouraged or disappointed because you're starting later than others." In the open space of the training ground, white pigeons glide across the clear blue sky, evoking a fresh sense of new hope. His voice echoes steadily and confidently. "With your talent, young master, starting late could mean you'll surge ahead right away. Do you understand what I mean?" Udell replies, "Yes, Sir Victor. I'll keep your advice in mind." Victor looks at him with emotion. He's tearing up thinking about young Master Udell, who suffered so much pain from the 9-yin absolute pulse, yet is improving day by day. He turns away, lost in his compassionate thoughts. Honestly, it's a blessing for the Bale family. I wish the Count could return right away to see the bravery on his son's face. Meanwhile, Udell stands there with a confident expression. He knows Udell will be a martial arts genius, and the fact that he started later than others isn't a disadvantage. Suddenly, a voice shatters the quiet along with the hurried footsteps. "Young Master." Their conversation is cut short by the girl's urgent call. Young Master Maya's there, panting heavily, looking extremely urgent, as if she's bringing emergency news. Udell asks Maya, worried, "What's going on? Why are you in such a rush?" Maya looks straight at him, sweat running down her forehead. She hesitates, takes a deep breath, then says in a low voice, "A letter from the Che family has arrived." Mr. Victor hears this and gets really excited. Oh, his eyes light up with interest. Is it really from Lady Cordelia to our young master? But Udell just wonders, is something happening, Yellowstorm? Maya says seriously, "The letter isn't from Lady Cordelia." She hesitates, then drops a heavy name. "It's from Cordelia's father, Lord Che." The moment that name is said, Udell is thrown into chaos. "Lord Che," he blurts out, unable to hide his shock. A moment later, the Che estate looms majestically against the still sky. Every architectural detail is intricately carved, impressive enough to wow even the pickiest nobles. The estate grounds stretch out with hundreds of ancient cherry trees in pink bloom. Delicate petals fall like rain, covering the steps and stone paths, creating an incredibly romantic scene. Delicate petals fall like rain. Udell stands frozen in the courtyard, his mind racing as he tries to figure out how he ended up here. Though he tries to look calm with a cold stare and slow steps, as if it's important business inside Udell's a storm of chaos. Remembering the letter said he should visit to discuss his recent actions toward Cordelia. Something like that, but he's so worried he can't even remember why he's here. He covers his face and whispers like he's about to lose it. "This is insane. I'm going crazy. And what's the Count like anyway?" As Israel and Maya enter the gates of the Che estate, cherry blossoms keep falling, blanketing the path like silk, making the scene heartwarmingly beautiful. There's a servant standing by to greet them. He seems like a dim-witted character from Cordelia's story. That's probably why he's calling me. Memories of his meetings with her flash in his mind. That's when he and her were running through the forest. Maybe he wants me to explain why I kidnapped his daughter and ran through the flower fields. Another memory surfaces when she and him were in a pretty dark place. Or maybe it's because I was caught secretly meeting at the temple right after I was overlooked. Udell strokes his chin in thought. Maya's constant calls bring Udell back to reality. Young master, young master." Udell snaps out of it. "Oh yes." She keeps a straight face, trying to calm him. Still, her hands are a bit shaky, clenched tightly. "There's no need to worry that much. You two have been engaged by both families already." At that moment, she's unable to hide her emotions, her whole body trembling, her voice stuttering. "So, if things are a bit off, it's okay." The sunlight hits every corner of the estate, creating a picturesque scene. She explains, "Later he'll be your father-in-law, young master. I'm sure he'll understand. Udell looks down, feeling a bit relieved. Yeah, Maya's right. Udell looks down, feeling a bit relieved. Yeah, Maya's right. Stay calm. He's just wanting to meet his future son-in-law. But face to face, a thought flashes in his mind. But instead of feeling better, he panics more. Wait, hold on. Does that mean this place will become my home too? And face to face, he slumps down, hands on his head, sinking into total panic, screaming inside. Just thinking about it is terrifying. I'm going crazy. What should I say? Asking for permission to hold his daughter's hand. What the heck? Right then, a call brings him back to reality. Young Master Udell. In the great hall in front of him and Maya is the housekeeper Dahlia of the Che house. He says hesitantly, Housekeeper Dahlia. Dahlia doesn't respond. She turns and says calmly, I'll escort you to the drawing room. Udell and Maya follow her, keeping a proper distance. He stammers, Excuse me, miss. But Dahlia cuts him off immediately. Lady Cordelia doesn't know about the Count calling you here. Udell thinks to himself, so what you're saying is, everyone stops to rest after the journey. They gather around to rest by the fire. A voice sighs, is the weather getting colder or what? Gil looks around and sighs. But it seems like monsters are hanging around here more often. Gil steps closer to the person sitting on the rock in front. I hope the city doesn't suffer any losses. Alex looks at the paper in his hand with tired eyes. That's the goal of this expedition. We need to wipe out as many monsters as possible before we head back. That's when Gil notices the paper in his hand. His eyes light up with curiosity. Of course, but Father, what are you looking at? Alex looks at the paper and replies, A letter from Victor just arrived, so I'm reading it. Hearing him mention Victor, Gil asks worriedly, Victor, everything's okay, right? Alex replies gravely, It's about Udell. The kid's health isn't just improving. It seems like he's ready to learn martial arts anytime. He gets a bit fidgety and eager. He's recovered. He shakes his head and sighs with worry. Not completely yet, but he's getting stronger because of that sun necklace he and Lady Cordelia found. Hearing this for the first time, Gil's eyes widen in surprise. The sun necklace. That's awesome. Meeting Lady Cordelia must be the best thing for Udell, right? Alex bursts out laughing, easing the tense atmosphere. He'd be thrilled to hear that. Seeing his father laugh like that, Gil's mood lightens too, and he laughs back. I bet Count Che feels the same way. He smirks and whispers, Father, should we head out right away? He smiles gently and reminds him, Don't push the soldiers too hard because of your own impatience, son. Gil seems to get it, so he happily draws his sword and affirms, I know, but he looks up at the clear blue sky. I just want to get back quickly to see Udell healthy. Gil's eyes sparkle with hope as he murmurs, I wonder how he's doing. His gentle inquiry carries on the wind, reaching the one he cares about, my dear brother. The scene shifts to the dining room of the Che estate. Even with just Arthur and Udell there, the atmosphere is incredibly tense. The two of them have been silent for a while, not saying a word to each other. Udell's in a downcast, gloomy state. It feels like the recovery from the sun necklace has vanished instantly, his body twisting in pain and his limbs feeling stiff. This worry makes him imagine a scary scene not unlike facing the laser gang. Udell nervously glances up while the person across from him casually sips tea. Arthur Che he silently recalls, along with his longtime friend, the Count of Bale. They're two of the great four in the north known as Blood and Wind. He's one of the most powerful mages in the kingdom of Sinun. And there's another one, and his daughter is Yellowstorm. The flashback continues in Udell's main story. Cordelia's father, Count Che, has no reason to meet Udell because Udell's weak due to the 9-yin absolute pulse. The two of them hardly know each other. And because Cordelia went missing, after their meeting, the engagement is no longer valid. He nervously picks up his tea and takes a sip. His mind is racing, so this is another change from the original story. As soon as he takes a sip, Udell widens his eyes in shock. His face darkens with disgust. Too sweet, did the maid overdo it? I don't think the Count would do that, or is it on purpose? I don't think the Count would do that. At that moment, Arthur speaks slowly. There are a few. He pauses, then continues, making Udell jump in his seat. Things I've heard. The atmosphere suddenly tightens. Udell sits stiffly, not moving an inch. This silence is terrifying. He bites his trembling lips and thinks, what now? What should I say? Cold sweat pours down Udell like rain. In his mind, he's clutching his head and screaming in panic. Or maybe just kneel and beg? Arthur glances at him assessingly and says seriously, Your life has been given another chance. Udell startles, eyes widening. Then he bows his head, looking away worriedly, mumbling, "Yes, sir, I'm grateful for the sun necklace," he says as he takes out the necklace and places it on the table for Arthur. "Here it is." Arthur picks up the great artifact and evaluates it. This is a once-in-a-millennium opportunity. Udell sits across, glancing secretly as he listens to him continue. "Just holding this, I can feel the yang energy constantly radiating." Seeing how serious he is, Udell sweats nervously and thinks, he's not saying anything about that, is he? As a mage, he seems really interested in the sun necklace. Arthur smirks slightly, thinking emptily, this thing radiates an enormous amount of yang energy. Everything else is useless. Udell startles in confusion. "What?" Arthur places a brown box in front of him and says softly, "Since I've brought it here, you might as well take it." Arthur still has his arms crossed, looking cold. "I'm saying this a bit early, but it's nothing." He replies awkwardly, "Oh yes, thank you, sir." Even though he's still confused, he obediently opens the box. "What did he give me? I guess it's okay to open it." Right after a bright, golden light bursts from the box, making him widen his eyes in surprise. Inside the box is the sun pill, a pill that radiates yang energy, one of the ingredients to cure the 9-yin absolute pulse. It hits Udell like a bolt from the blue. Instead of being thrilled, he silently curses in his mind, "Oh man." Even so, Udell has to compose himself and shakily thank Arthur. He clears his throat and asks seriously, "And I've heard..." In his mind, he recalls the earlier scene where the two of them fell off the cliff and Princess Cordelia carried him and jumped down right. Questioned by her father, Udell shrinks like a turtle and mumbles yes. In his thoughts, "I'm hurrying to hide it, can't tell him I wanted to carry her too." Hearing him confirm that, Arthur grits his teeth in anger. "You weakling!" Udell startles and sits up straight, carefully watching Arthur's face. He pushes a gift box toward Udell and instructs, "These are some berries that will help improve your health. Since there are only a few weak mages with staffs around here, go ahead and eat them." Udell's face turns red with embarrassment. "Thank you, sir." He still wonders in his mind, berries that improve health. Udell unties the string and quietly guesses, could it be? He carefully opens the gift box and sees strength-boosting berries inside ones that enhance muscle power. Another thunderbolt strikes his mind. These are strength-boosting berries. I haven't even seen this item in the early game parts. He actually gave it to me. Seeing Udell's surprised confusion, Arthur puts down his tea and explains, "Since both of these are a bit bitter, have them with tea." Udell gapes in realization. "So that's why your tea is sweet." He's tough on the outside, but soft inside. The scene shifts to a bright, warm room. Cordelia's hand twitches, and she lazily opens her eyes. Cordelia mumbles sleepily. "Just woke up and feeling stuffy and uncomfortable." Udell tiredly rubs his neck, worried about putting the sun pill into the strength-boosting berries for himself. Not to mention how thoughtful it is. Is he really a good guy? He purses his lips and looks up. Or maybe... In Udell's mind, a guess forms as he looks at Arthur. He's interested in me. Now he notices Arthur's eyes fixed on the ring on his hand. He clears his throat and asks, "That ring?" Udell holds up in his hand and explains, "It's the gift you gave me, sir." He looks down at the ring with its faint pink stone. "I've always worn it." He starts to flash back. The reason Udell and Cordelia are engaged is because Urbael and Urche are close friends. So the two kids were engaged even before they were born. The two of them have had a connection since childhood. Because the engagement wasn't approved by the kids, they feel awkward every time they meet. Udell's still a bit shy, but as nobles, they have to act close. So that's why he gave me this couple's item to wear. Too embarrassed to say it's a pair. Arthur says coldly, "Throw that ring away." His words hit like lightning. Leaving him stunned. Udell gapes in shock, speechless, softly saying, "Oh." He panics and shouts up to the sky, "Sir, why all of a sudden?" In the sunny room, a hesitant voice rings out, "May I ask why, sir?" The other person replies coldly, "Is it just you wearing this ring, or am I mistaken?" Now Udell realizes, thinking back, he hasn't seen her wearing it once. He nods in agreement. "You're right." Arthur sets down his tea and sighs. "The girl said she lost it." He says casually, as if, "It's no big deal. Don't worry, I plan to get a new one for you two anyway. So please don't be mad and let it go." Udell reads Cordelia like an open book. Hearing him say that he can picture what happened with her sounds more like she threw it away than lost it. Why would I marry someone like a boxer? She probably tossed it right away. Udell forces a smile to save face. "No, I don't mind at all." In his mind, he thinks up a scenario. I wonder what would happen if the engagement breakup scene played out. Arthur would cross his arms in rage, then stay away from my daughter. That's the typical plot, but seeing the real person, Udell thinks differently. But now I'm sure he's someone who doesn't show his true feelings at all. Udell helplessly chuckles to himself. I know that's the case, but Cordelia is truly her father's daughter. Their personalities are identical. It must be genetic. Arthur relaxes his face and lowers his tone. There's one more thing I heard you're planning to go to the gathering with Cordelia. Udell eagerly replies, yes, that's right, Father. Hearing him call him Father Arthur frowns in discomfort. Father. He kind of likes the title, but Arthur clears his throat to keep up his strict image. Arthur smooths his chest, turns his head away, and says with concern, I'm not sure if your sickly body can handle a long trip. You'll need more stamina for this journey. Now Udell understands why he gave him those gifts. Those are strength berries for sure. He excitedly thanks him, thank you, Father. Their meeting goes on a bit longer before Arthur stands up and says, that's enough, you can go now. Udell bows and backs away. Yes, I'll take my leave, Father. Meanwhile, he acts all cool and replies, As soon as the door closes, Udell's face turns pale with exhaustion. Whoa, that was intense, but I feel recharged. While Udell's rubbing his stomach and thinking it's worth it, even if he's full, suddenly someone rushes up and shouts, Hey, Cordelia, just woke up and came straight here looking for you. Cordelia runs up out of breath from exhaustion, but Udell smiles brightly and greets her. Finally here, huh? She frowns, her face pale with anger, scolding, Finally here. How could you be so careless? Why didn't you let me know when you arrived? Udell gently reminds her, calm down. It's a bit surprising. Cordelia, it's a bit surprising, but I didn't have time to visit you and everything's fine. She loses her cool and shouts anxiously, My father's calling you, and that's fine. She's so flustered that the people with her can't help but laugh helplessly. He didn't scold you. Does he want to break off the engagement? Udell notices there are people around, so he doesn't go straight to the point and strokes his chin to change the subject. My dear Cordelia, Udell doesn't look directly at her, but turns his head and rambles. On the way here, I glanced at your estate and noticed a beautiful garden. Cordelia sees that and grits her teeth in anger, blurting out, What the heck, Dad? Eudora helplessly mutters, not subtle at all. He lowers his voice gently and suggests, If you don't mind, Udell looks at the vast grounds. Could you show me around the garden? Cordelia doesn't argue and follows him to the garden. As they walk and chat, So earlier my father just gave you some random stuff. Udell scratches his neck and recounts, Yeah, he wants me to get stronger so I can carry you around. And of course the Count didn't say that. Udell's just putting words in his mouth. Hearing these cheesy lines, Cordelia startles and backs away, clearly showing her disapproval. You excuse me, but I have legs to walk, thank you very much. He bends over, hands on his knees, breathing heavily. Whew, finished my 10 laps in the morning. Done. Udell smiles warmly and continues. He even knows about us happily running around in the flower field, so he bought the whole area. Cordelia gets goosebumps and yells, I've racked my brain and still can't guess what you two said to making him say something like that. Anyway, the issue isn't us running around in the flower field. It's because you carried me that day. That's why he gave me all these items. Cordelia nods and calms down. Is that all? I guess I worried for nothing. In Udell's mind, images of the Che father and daughter appear, and he murmurs, just that. In his thoughts, he adds, Father and daughter are exactly alike. The way she promises is just like Che, though she looks more like her mother. After that, Udell turns to Cordelia and says, He made me eat a ton, and that's the real issue. My stomach feels like it's about to burst. Cordelia sweetly sighs, complaining about being full. Now you know how I felt chugging all that mana potion in the dungeon last time. Her eyes suddenly sparkle as she looks into Udell's eyes. Oh, those dark lines under your eyes are gone. The 9-yen absolute pulse must be getting better, right? I remember you looked so gloomy before. She recalls that. Udell awkwardly sighs. So you notice that you're sharp. He scratches his neck, tilts his head to avoid her gaze, but she's too close. Udell blushes in embarrassment. Suddenly he clears his throat and continues exciting Cordelia. Now about your father. Oh, now he'll be back in no more than 10 days. She innocently chatters on, Oh ho, how are you going to get Abel here? Udell nods and instructs, Yep, just as you guessed. My body's not strong enough to start training yet. Cordelia excitedly cheers, I knew it. So now you're preparing for your father's test mission, Udell replies casually. Yeah, I don't have any other choice. It's the only way to leave Berlin. Cordelia follows behind in agreement. You're right, that's essential to start the main story. Junbei Io, because deep down he knows that at the Heroes Alliance debut, two characters long neglected by players. One character with a tough start and terrible physical stats, that's Junbei L, like in other online games. In Heroes Alliance 2, the memories get more detailed. There are elite characters that players often use, and less popular ones that players don't favor. Udell is a character players rarely choose, even though he's ranked. Udell thinks of one person. Meanwhile, Cordelia, a character picky players avoid due to her tragic story and hard gameplay. And he also knows why people usually limit choosing Udell. That image suddenly shatters because this character's setup is extremely frustrating. The character Udell is always so sickly. One of Udell's biggest obstacles is the 9-yen absolute pulse. According to the story, this curse is lifted when the Fire Sun language is found. The gift from Count Urche is a goldfish. He reluctantly says, "I just happened to see it and caught it." And of course, that's 100% a lie. Udell thinks about it and remembers the time spent with this curse lasted over half a year before the main game story. By then, a few things had happened, and there are two events: the gathering without Cordelia missing the event, so Udell goes straight to it. The 9-yen absolute pulse being cured is the first event. The father's test starts the main story. If you want to know what players who chose Udell did during that half year, as soon as you open your eyes, Udell is in despair. Out of nowhere, the last leaf of O appears. Henry does that, sitting on the bed staring at the last leaf through the window all day. Maya has caught Udell passed out on the floor multiple times, collapsing while trying to hold up his frail body. Every time he moves for more than 10 minutes, it's not just a simple faint, or coming up with 101 poses to look stylish before sleeping like garlic. While everyone rushes to help, the mechanical voice keeps saying, "You don't have enough stamina." NPC Maya, you have to be careful, young master. NPC Maya, you have to be careful, young master. You don't have enough stamina. NPC Maya, young master Udell. Udell silently, "I didn't even do anything, why faint?" Udell silently, "All I did was change clothes 4 times. He collapses under the bright lights of the 10 directions. At the start of the game, Udell is an A-rank character, handsome but full of illnesses. To play Udell, as a setup for the character Udell's game, to play Udell, you have to be a veteran player enduring Udell's constant fainting spells. Games are meant for fun. Who'd be masochistic enough to play a character like that in an online game? He breaks out in a sweat, worried. Later, Yodel awakens his talent and becomes a true main character. But now I get why no one wants to play this character. It's that tough at the beginning. Who could handle it? Udell scratches his face in frustration. Not to mention, curing the 9-yen absolute pulse is just the first step. You can't leave the territory unless you pass your father's test mission. Why am I still stuck as Udell after transmigrating? At that moment, he's thinking, maybe next time play a different character. In the grand room, there's a person standing tall in front of 2 lines of soldiers. The second reason Udell is a picky character is the mission to prove to Alex that the 9-yen absolute pulse is fully cured. Alex sternly smiles. It's a mandatory mission before entering the main story. The mission called the father's test. That's why you have to practice swordplay until your hands are full of scars to complete it. You need to train Udell according to Alex's standards. He has to be serious and train like crazy. Because the standards are way beyond normal, you're basically stuck at the estate for 1 to 2 months after the character recovers. And there's no shortcut to complete this mission. He feels like the character in One Punch Man who has to grind the intro mission. Do 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups. Like a newbie mission, the game doesn't allow skipping to avoid players missing important details and lessons. Saitama says do 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, and run 10 kilometers every day. The number of sword swings is 2,421 over 1,000. Training like that will make my hair fall out. But in this game, there's no trick to get through it fast. Cordelia's pink hair blows in the wind. She's worried and curious. Does it take a lot of time? Will we make it to the gathering? Udell stops and takes a necklace from his pocket. He affirms confidently about that. Udell holds up the necklace. Thanks to this, everything will be fine. Cordelia's eyes sparkle with curiosity. The sun necklace. Udell knows she doesn't get it, so he carefully explains, "You know the drop rate for this in the game is only 3%, right?" Cordelia nods. "Yeah, it's a super rare item." Udell continues seriously, "Don't you think we hit the jackpot getting something this valuable?" Even Urche said it's lucky just to see it. Cordelia nods in agreement. "Yeah, you're right." The one named Udell laughs and boasts, "And I got a bunch of gifts when I came here. Even though you said I looked healthier, he was like Santa Claus with his full red suit." Cordelia isn't surprised. She replies casually, I see, so you're up to standard now. Cordelia freezes, confused and worried about his words. Udell suddenly hesitates. Yeah, and you. He bursts into a bright smile. In life, I have you. Cordelia freezes in confusion. And I'm still worried about what he said. A moment later, she snaps out of it, looking at Udella's smug face and awkwardly says, "What the heck are you saying? Why are you smiling like that?" Her embarrassed shout echoes for 8 kilometers. Why are you smiling anyway? Watching that couple get closer and closer, Dahlia stands nearby, happy for them. They're getting so close, huh? Time flies by. A week later. Specifically early one morning, the servant knocks on Cordelia's door to wake her. Not yet, my lady. Cordelia opens the door and peeks out. Why am I reading a book? The maid stands straight and reports, "Young Master Udell sent you a letter." She's surprised and stammers, "What I mean, thank you for delivering it." After taking the letter from the maid, Cordelia slams the door shut. She looks at the letter in her hand and wonders, what now? I thought I wouldn't have to see him until the day we leave for the gathering in Langheist. Or maybe something happened to him. Just reading the first line and it's already cheesy. To my beloved Cordelia, the one I miss so much. She can't hold back and curses, "Oh, he's making me want to swear from the first line." Cordelia continues reading. Okay, skip the nonsense and see what he really wants to say. Count BL is coming back soon, so I have to... Is he crazy? How the heck am I supposed to say something embarrassing for him? There's no date set or anything. What, I have to send him a letter. Dahlia calls out, "I'm Cordelia, may I come in?" Hearing her call, Cordelia turns and asks, "Dahlia, what is it?" Dahlia says excitedly, passing on a message from Count J. Count Alex Bale, the friend of the Count and father of young Master Udell, will return from his expedition today. Beale will also attend that gathering. He asked me to tell you to prepare and go to the Beale estate, as well as join the gathering. Hearing Dahlia say that, she widens her eyes and freezes, confused. 2 days later, in the afternoon dining room at the Barrel estate, Cordelia is there for the meal at the Barrel estate. While everyone's chatting happily, she's fumbling. How the heck did I end up here? Oh yeah, I remember coming with my father in a carriage or something. Why am I here? What's my reason for coming to the Bale estate? Udell sits across and looks at Cordelia's fumbling state, whispering his judgment. Looking at her, I guess that's exactly how I looked when I went to the Che estate last time. In Cordelia's mind, she reassures herself. Come on, why is there a plot point like this that's not in the game? Gil notices the atmosphere going silent, so he speaks gently. To break this, anyway, when I heard the story, I think you two are really lucky, right? To think you could find the sun necklace while playing in the flower garden. Sincerely, thank you, Lady Cordelia. Udell is special, but for the Bio family, you're truly a blessing from heaven. Hearing him praise his daughter, so flowery, A is indifferent but proud. Cordelia startles and stammers, Oh, you're overpraising me. How should I address you, brother-in-law? Gil gives a professional smile, Lady Cordelia. Then he sighs sadly. Oh man, I'm about to throw up. Hey, as if reading her thoughts, he laughs and thinks, she seems a bit shy, my dear brother, you're in luck. After that, everyone stays silent until the meal ends. Alex clears his throat. Finally, since we've finished eating, Cordelia. Cordelia startles and replies loudly, yes. I've heard. Gil smiles professionally and says, I've heard Udell say that you want to ask something of me. Would you mind if I ask what it is now? Cordelia's face turns red with embarrassment. Udell looks at her panicked face, reminding him of himself earlier, and he chuckles. Look how worried she is. Then he speaks up to save his fiancée. May I speak for her father? Alex agrees. Go ahead. Udell expresses, I want to attend the upcoming gathering with Lady Cordelia. Alex swirls his wine glass and recalls, the gathering, I believe it's held at the Capitol by Lord Linhester. Gil chimes in to help his brother. Yes, I attended one a few years ago. Udell can also join because it's for the children of the 12 northern clans. Hearing that, Alex laughs and agrees. Yeah, Udell is also a child of the Bael family. It's only natural for you to attend. Udell softly thanks him, yes. Alex's eyes sharpen and his voice turns serious. However, I have doubts about someone like you, a child who doesn't even know how to hold a sword properly stepping out of the land where he was born. Udell isn't worried. He kicks his foot, teasing Cordelia. I've got it all set. Let's get ready. I've got my foot ready to run out the gate. Cordelia is still confused, not confident. She's scared of him now. Oh my, I don't want to do that at all. Hey, are you sure about that? Udell chuckles and glances. Why not try and see? Alex's voice continues booming, drowning out everything else. The BL family prides itself on bravery in battle. I can only allow you to leave home if you're strong enough to protect yourself. Cordelia suddenly shouts, interrupting. She gathers all her courage to speak. Father, She really wants to go with young Master Udell, outwardly confident, but inside she's crying. Seeing her speak up like that, Alex is surprised and freezes. He's awkward and stammers. However, Cordelia has been bedridden lately. Arthur says, softly, there's no way to fix that personality of yours, is there? The sun necklace is a treasure of the sun god. According to history, it's an item that Garius, one of the most famous knights serving the sun god, wore. Don't you think your son controlling it is just luck? I still think he has a lot to improve. However, I think your son has proven himself, and I acknowledge his talent. It sounds like he's shading me, so Alex sighs, thinking, Arthur, you're talking like I'm blocking him. The son of Geo laughs awkwardly. Udell raises a finger in praise. Hey, old man, dear father-in-law. Arthur is confused. Did I say something wrong? Cordelia clasps her hands and says sweetly, about that. Please, sir, could you allow him to go, Lord Biel? Arthur's whole body radiates intense hostility. He glanced sharply and spoke sternly, sounding like a threat. You won't refuse the girl completely, will you, Alex? Even when she's begging like this. Count J launched a full attack, leaving Alex Biel flustered and speechless. He awkwardly tried to smooth things over. If she's gone this far, it might not be for nothing. Then turning to Udell, he mentioned, I heard Victor say you're capable enough to learn martial arts now. Udell looked up and replied, yes. Oh, he suddenly suggested, how about we start the lesson this afternoon? The proposal left both lovebirds completely stunned. Alex smirked and warned seriously, I'm pretty strict, you know. You'd better keep up. Udell and Arthur were still a bit hesitant. You seem really serious about this, especially since you just got back this morning. Alex burst out laughing and assured, ha, isn't that what you wanted to say to me? I overheard it. Hearing that, Cordelia panicked and whispered, what the heck? Is the Count going to teach you personally? Udell was just as baffled. It looks that way. This surprised them both because it never happened in the game. Is this some kind of bonus reward? It got Cordelia super excited. She took a deep breath, never imagining things would turn out like this. Udell nodded in agreement, his voice full of excitement. Yeah, the sun necklace must have helped, but I'm glad I made a good impression on your dad, too. Who'd have thought he'd be on our side the whole conversation? Still, it's really awesome. I thought this was just some minor event we'd breeze through, but to think he'd personally teach me. Cordelia paused, surprised as she discovered this side of Udell. Cordelia's face flushed with embarrassment. I think he's really happy to be trained by Count Biel, but clearly he's excited about experiencing something that doesn't happen in the game. Of course, I'm excited too. High-ranked players are enjoying new events. She suddenly teased, hey, remember how you kept complaining about that blocked meridian? What if he says you're not good enough and bans you from learning or something like that? Udell cleared his throat awkwardly and responded. Then responded excitedly like a kid. I never complained that much, and my health is getting better anyway. I've already learned the 36 heavenly steps, so there's no way I'll disappoint him. In fact, I bet he'll be surprised. All right, and if I fail, you'll go to Langheist alone. Good luck playing the main story by yourself. Your attitude is so annoying. Cordelia got angry and wanted to punch. Oh, so you die before the apocalypse, huh? Whatever. Even if you say that you're still a boxer anyway, I'm sure your head will spin. Don't overdo it and end up done forgot it. Udell looked puzzled and repeated Yellowstorm. You really take after your dad. Cordelia pouted angrily. Of course I take after my dad. Who else would I look like? Seeing her like she wanted to punch him, Udell backed down and groaned. No, I didn't mean your looks. But anyway, let's drop it. It's probably best not to say more. But quickly they both went back to normal and continued their walk. Cordelia sang as they walked. Hey, by the way, your dad is pretty handsome. His eyes look so dreamy, but not in a sleepy way. Actually, he doesn't seem to have any weaknesses. At first, I thought he was really cold. But when he smiles, he suddenly seems so friendly. Udell stayed silent, walking behind and listening to her ramble. I'm glad he's a nice guy. Udell stayed silent, walking behind, listening to her ramble. After a while, they saw Dahlia up ahead. Cordelia stopped and called out excitedly, Oh, Dahlia, she's calling me. It looks like it's time to head back. Dahlia waved and called loudly, Lady Cordelia. Before saying goodbye, Cordelia greeted, All right, I'll be going then. I'll gather all the items you asked me to prepare, so don't worry. Udell waved awkwardly and smiled. Okay, safe travels. Cordelia lifted her skirt and ran to the carriage. Udell stood there in a daze thinking, it's not that important anyway. But isn't Udell designed to look exactly like his dad? You were lost in thought and didn't notice. Maya quietly appeared behind Udell, holding her head in frustration. No, I can't think about it too deeply. Maya asked worriedly, Young master, do you have a headache? Though exhausted, he tried to answer, Oh no, I'm fine. Time passed quickly to 4 days later in the High District. After several tiring days of training, Cordelia and Udell complained miserably, Yeah, I'm exhausted to death. Is she too? Exactly. Even so, Udell cleared his throat and asked confidently, Exactly. Even so, Udell cleared his throat and asked confidently, So have you seen the results from the past 4 days? Cordelia quickly regained her composure. She smirked, Of course, I'll show you in the valley. Countess Aethor suddenly appeared and separated the couple. Udell bowed as if programmed elegantly. I'm honored to go with Lady Cordelia to Langus. Cordelia was hit with a sudden emotional attack. She stumbled, embarrassed. Yeah, me too to go with you. I'm looking forward to it. Dahlia stood by the carriage and called out, Preparations for departure are complete. Like grabbing a lifeline, Cordelia stammered, Oh, okay, I'll be right there. She quickly ran to the carriage and carefully climbed in. Once the lovebirds were settled in their seats, Alex below carefully instructed, All right, Udell, Cordelia, have a safe trip. His brother smirked, Make sure you don't get hurt. Meanwhile, Countess Aethor crossed her arms, frowning in annoyance. She showed her displeasure. The 2 kids in the carriage excitedly waved, We're off, see you later. The carriage wheels rolled smoothly over the paved road, making soft sounds mixed with the rustling wind. The ones escorting them were Maya and Dahlia. Dahlia spoke boldly, Are you okay? Maya spoke gently, I'm fine. In the carriage, Udell carefully got to the point in detail. All right, since it's just us now, let's check to make sure nothing goes wrong in this event. First, did you bring the right luggage? Cordelia affirmed firmly. This time I hid it all in my bag and dress, so no worries. Udell turned into Nobita, flattering, You're so reliable. The magic potion and cloth you asked me to bring. Udell smiled gratefully. Thank you. Now Cordelia noticed and wondered, You want me to draw a magic circle on this towel, right? You won't get carsick from the bumping, will you? Udell nodded reassuringly. It's fine, I'll draw it during the break, so don't worry, go ahead and sleep. Cordelia rubbed her eyes, sleepy and lazy. Got it, I was planning to sleep anyway. Sitting and reading forbidden magic books all last night dried out my eyes. Hearing that, Udell nodded. Okay, go ahead and get some sleep. If everything happens just like in the game, I'm sure we'll have to travel a long way soon. It wasn't long before the next morning arrived, but the bridge ahead was blocked. Dahlia panicked and worried, The road is blocked. Sweating and flustered, she reported, Yes, while scouting, I asked the people coming the other way. They said the bridge collapsed, so the road is blocked too. The night escort appointed by Count Byron for young master Israel Byron tensed up. So even though it's a hassle, we have no choice but to turn back. Maya stumbled in agreement. We'll have to take a longer route. The young master hasn't fully recovered yet, so I'm really worried. Dahlia's mood was affected too. She tensed up and said, But Lady Cordelia has learned it, so the recovery spell for the young master will be fine. Maya widened her eyes in admiration. Lady Cordelia has learned it. Dahlia smiled proudly. Yes, even though she studied until dawn and fell asleep without realizing it. She even learned dangerous things like paralysis magic at the same time. As for the detour, I've planned to take the mountainside road since it's less rugged. Though it will take an extra day, I think it's our best option. Maya sighed and accepted. I understand we can't do anything since the bridge collapsed. June awkwardly joined their conversation. Miss Maya, please don't worry. I'll try to escort the young master and Lady Cordelia safely and comfortably, and of course you too, as your night escort. I'll face any dangers and protect you. Maya responded coldly, leaving the young man speechless. I think it's best if none of that happens, but thanks anyway. Cordelia, who was sleeping, heard the noise outside. She woke up groggy. Hey, did you hear that? Udell chewed at his food and responded casually. Yeah. Just as expected, it's still going exactly like in the game. If the route is the mountain detour, we might trigger some hidden events. As planned, Cordelia showed her annoyance and grumbled, No, not that. Did you hear what the escort knight said to Maya just now? Udell sprayed and mumbled blankly, I heard it. Cordelia acted cute and whined, "In the game, we only heard they used the mountain road as a detour. But I think we'll hear this dialogue. Is it because I'm here with you?" Udell responded casually, sounding dismissive. "Yeah." After his words, an awkward silence fell between them. Udell looked confused. "What about your attitude?" Cordelia was too annoyed to say more. "It's nothing. I shouldn't have said anything. But what are you eating while drawing?" "What's in that bag?" Udell responded emotionlessly. "It's the medicine your dad gave me, along with a bag of money. I was just about to check how much is in it." Cordelia's eyes widened in surprise. "What? Let's split it." Udell held onto the bag tightly and refused. "When did you get it? Let's split it." Udell held onto the bag tightly and refused. "No way. This is money from my future father-in-law. Why should I split it?" Cordelia flew into a rage, roaring like a lioness. "Because it's money my dad gave you to buy me good food." Udell kept his playful attitude and scoffed, "I'll spend it carefully and then buy you something good." Cordelia couldn't hold back and shouted louder, "Whatever, just split it." Their argument continued until dusk. Their carriage stopped to rest at the campsite. June was exhausted and fell asleep. He dozed off by the flickering fire without noticing Cordelia and Udell sneaking out of the carriage. As soon as Cordelia stepped out, she exclaimed, "Oh my God, I was so scared we'd get caught." Udell carefully followed behind, protecting her. "What a relief we sneaked out easily." Cordelia didn't hide her sigh and urged, "Illusion magic is amazing. I was scared to death." "Hurry up, shake it off, and let's head back." Udell eagerly urged, "All right, is this valley the entrance to the event?" Cordelia looked around carefully. "Yes, I'm sure it's this way." "Oh, found it." Before them was a waterfall, a true masterpiece of nature. Cordelia remembered that Cordelia's hidden event appears on the mountain detour. The event happens late at night when Cordelia sneaks out of the campsite. On her first rough trip, she couldn't fall asleep. The pressure from the gathering with kids from the 12 noble families, the oppression the youngest daughter endures. Cordelia, needing time to soothe her mind and tired body, went to the valley in the forest to wash off the sweat. What she saw while alone away from prying eyes. The moonlight shone bright, the stars twinkled as if in gratitude. The brilliant and beautiful moonlight chased away her fatigue. Cordelia began to sing. Her voice echoed through the quiet valley. Astonished by the young woman's voice, a mysterious creature appeared before her. The rest is skipped, as it's like something straight out of a fairy tale. The magical scene that even Cordelia felt. It's just a special event to appreciate the player. But players joke that this event is a key factor in Cordelia's story, because the reward is her. Udell interrupted her thoughts. "Yellowstorm, you know, only Cordelia can do it, so only you can handle this task." Hearing that, Cordelia frowned in annoyance as if the world had wronged her. Cordelia glanced at him tiredly and sighed. I don't want to do it." Udell sweated and smiled awkwardly. "I get it, but you have to. Now's not the time to back out. Do you remember what the reward for this event is? And neither of us wants to leave empty-handed without that reward, right?" Cordelia played with her hair, thinking of something else. She awkwardly covered, "It's obvious we need to get as much as possible. I've drawn it already." Udell took out a white cloth and said, "Right. That's why you had to bring swimwear. While fighting car sickness, I finished drawing it. So let's do this." Cordelia covered her face gloomy. "Ugh, fine, I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll pull it off perfectly." "Good decision, but you have to wear swimwear too." Udell froze in shock. "Huh." A loud huh. Night had fully taken over the campsite. Only the light from the fire outside remained. In the middle of the night, Maya woke up sleepy and thirsty. She jolted awake when she looked at the opposite bed with no one and no sign that anyone had slept there. Maya worriedly muttered, "Young Master Udell is by the stream." Udell panicked. "Why me? It's not my event. According to Cordelia, it might be her event. But you're here, so we share the blessings and the troubles, right?" Udell jumped. "What kind of nonsense is this? Besides, I didn't even bring swimwear." Cordelia smirked slyly. "When I said I definitely brought the right items, didn't you think of this? Look, it's designed like the item bag in the game." Her attitude made Udell turn pale with fear. He stammered in fear, "Calm down, Yellowstorm. I'll just hide in the bushes. I promise I won't come out." Your strong resistance made Cordelia lose patience and get angry. "What? I went through hell with you for that sun necklace. Now it's your turn." Udell insisted, "That's because only you were needed. You don't need me here." Cordelia lost patience, speaking word by word, but her tone was embarrassed. "Why not? I need it. It's super embarrassing. I'm the only one showing off while we're both here." Udell stumbled. Yeah." An awkward silence fell between them. But because of Cordelia's sparkling eyes, Udell raised his hands in surrender. "Fine, I'll wear it." Hearing that, Cordelia cheered up. Good, that's how it should be. As for the size, we're about the same height, so it should be fine. At that moment, Cordelia noticed, why are your lips blue? Udell jumped and realized, oh, maybe because I'm a bit cold. My body temperature is naturally low due to the block meridian. So I didn't notice. Cordelia fidgeted with her hair embarrassed. She looked at his lips and worried, are you really cold? Udell blushed, looked away, and changed the subject. Now that you mention it, I do feel a bit cold. Let's finish this quickly and go back. Cordelia was confused by Udell's words. She suggested, give it to me so I can do it fast. Cordelia stubbornly hid the pants. Udell kept urging, why? Anything's fine, just don't wear it. Her sudden change made Udell not know what to do. Why the sudden switch? In Cordelia's mind, some not-for-kids images appeared, making her blush. Cordelia curled up and mumbled, what if you catch a cold? I don't want a weak guy like you getting sick because of me. Seeing her unusually kind, Udell froze in confusion. Cordelia panicked and got angry. She threw the swimwear on the ground in frustration. What a waste bringing this. Who thought it would be this cold? How the heck did Cordelia bathe in this weather? Is she crazy? Unless she's rolling in mud, she couldn't handle it. Now Udell understood. He scratched his head and sighed helplessly. She might talk rough, but she's still thoughtful. I can't be the only one getting sick. Let's get through this quickly. Cordelia was still mad and grumbled, fine. In the end, they followed the story. Udell leaned against the tree, waiting for Cordelia to change. Are you done yet? Cordelia was fuming with embarrassment. Wait a second. If you dare turn around, I'll chop you. Udell stayed calm. I mean, you're wearing swimwear anyway. Cordelia sweated and flustered. Okay. You can turn around. As soon as she finished, Udell stepped out and asked, are you done? And as we expected, he froze, staring at Cordelia. Her pink hair flowed long like a princess in a fairy tale. But her expression wasn't friendly at all. Maybe Udell turned to stone because of her stunning beauty. He was dazed. I knew she was beautiful, but seeing her like this, seeing him stare without saying anything, Cordelia blushed and snapped, where are you staring? He thought a lot just now, but still casually replied nothing. In his mind, he added, Zelda Tempest is beautiful, but her way of talking is... Cordelia pouted and ordered, I'm going in the water now. So go hide. Udell sighed and obeyed. His attitude made Cordelia even more annoyed. Don't copy people. With that, she slowly stepped into the cool stream. As soon as she did, Cordelia hugged herself, shivering. This is freezing my soul. Oh my God. How could she bathe in the stream in the middle of winter? Is Cordelia nuts? Udell hid behind the tree and waved, start singing or we'll both freeze to death. Cordelia's face paled from the cold, but she signaled obedience. She tried to compose herself. Cordelia was about to open her mouth to sing, but stopped. Wait. What did Cordelia sing in this event? It's a song from Cordelia's memory, so I should know it. I think it's a song about the stars. A song about the stars. Stars. In Cordelia's mind, images of stars suddenly appeared. She sweated in confusion. Oh no, I forgot the song from the event. Waiting forever and not hearing Cordelia sing, Udell lost patience and was frustrated with his friend. At this point, she just started singing randomly, one bright star, two bright stars, three bright stars shining golden light. Seeing Cordelia sing nonsense, Udell paled in fear. Wait, that's not right. You have to sing the song from the game. You're supposed to sing the one from the game. Cordelia flailed in the water in panic. What am I supposed to do when I don't remember the song? It's a song with the moon and stars or something. So, I think it'll be fine. Besides, this isn't the game. There's no time limit. Udell really couldn't trust his companion. She was the one who said she'd do it perfectly, but she's just singing a star song. The song might be different, but the singer is the same. It might lack the mystery, but it'll be okay since it's cute. Wait, cute. Thinking that he suddenly had a bold idea. Udell climbed onto the rock in front, looked up, and softly opened his mouth to sing. Udell looked at the stars around and cheered, there it is! Cordelia continued her sweet singing, 4 bright stars. There are 5 bright stars. There are 6 bright stars in the high sky by... Her voice successfully summoned the beautiful fairies. 2 fairies appeared around her and cheered joyfully. You're really beautiful today. I guess you're surprised. Oh, well, finish your song. Yes, please finish your song. Cordelia stared in surprise at the 2 fairies. The 2 fairies curiously asked, but why are you wrapped in a towel while bathing? How can you bathe like that? Does it matter she's beautiful? Thanks to her sweet voice, Cordelia successfully summoned the fairies, a race of magical beings flying freely. They only appear in quests exclusive to Cordelia. She was stunned. They're here. They're really here. Suddenly a voice echoed, "Oh, wow, you're so beautiful." This made Cordelia jump a little, filled with surprise and confusion. They really appeared here. Adele and Amel suddenly appeared before Cordelia. Adele looked at her curiously. "But why are you wrapped in a towel while bathing? How can you bathe like that?" Amel next to her ignored the question and complimented, "Who cares? You're so beautiful." Fairies, a species that loves flying freely. They only appear in quests exclusive to Cordelia. Dahlia L. reminisced about Maya hugging a book. She did not hesitate and flew into Cordelia's hair, hugging it very satisfyingly. "You're right. Why is her hair pink?" Amel responded, "You're right. It always brings inspiration and novelty. Those cute things look amazing." Adele playfully leaned in close to her face, excitedly asking, "Why don't you sing anymore?" "Go ahead and sing." Cordelia stammered awkwardly, It's just..." Adele still clung to her hair without letting go. The fairy kept persuading Cordelia, "Or how about we sing with you?" "Wait, is that a new one? Forget it. Let's hear you sing first." From afar, Udell was peeking from behind the trees, thinking, "Those flirtatious bugs are just like in the game." He was helpless with the fairies surrounding Cordelia. Is Cordelia's appearance more important than the song? Anyway, it's still going well. Now just wait for that one to show up. A map suddenly appeared in Udell's mind. If the time they appear matches Cordelia's story, we might have time to react. The enemy location is bothered by the fairies waiting behind the tree. He hesitated. But do they always come this late? Back to Cordelia. Mel now smiled and introduced, "Oh yeah, we forgot to introduce ourselves. We're fairies." Cordelia froze and hesitated. "Oh, you, Ameo." They kept chatting with her. "Beautiful friend, we don't know your name, but let's play together. The Queen's nightlife is about to start." Odell, holding her hair, joined in. "Let's go play together. The Queen loves beautiful friends like us, so I think she'll be happy." Their voices kept going, "But is it okay to bring a human child there? What if we say she's a guest singer?" "That's a great idea. She's beautiful and sings well, so everyone will like her." Oh, they turned back to look at Cordelia and asked, "Oh yeah, what do you think, beautiful friend?" Oh, they turned back to look at Cordelia and asked, "Will you come with us?" She hugged herself, confused. Facing them made it hard for Cordelia to focus. They're so flirtatious and selfish, but also really cute. Look at their size. After thinking it over, she finally responded, The thing is..." Along with Cordelia's voice came the gentle sound of flowing water. It created a peaceful scene. Udell, standing from afar, seemed to realize something. His eyes widened in horror. A second later, Udell shouted a warning, "Cordelia, get out of there!" At that moment, a large unicorn suddenly appeared behind Cordelia without her knowing. Both she, Odell, and Ameo turned toward the sound. Ameo covered her mouth and looked at Udell shyly. "Who is that?" "He's really handsome. Well, let's say good-looking." Odell, sitting on Cordelia's shoulder, didn't skimp on compliments. "Udell, you're so cute. Your skin is as white as snow." Cordelia, still in the water, was confused. "What?" Before she could finish, a shadowy figure emerged from the water, causing ripples. "But the two-horned unicorn still hasn't..." A scream rang out as the unicorn burst from the water. It appeared in a different spot. It was hiding under the water. Cordelia's eyes widened in terror at the unicorn's presence. She slowly turned to look at the unicorn. It was staring at Cordelia with a fierce gaze. Facing the unicorn's eyes, she couldn't help but feel afraid. Cordelia helplessly accepted the situation. She forced a laugh. "We're screwed." Suddenly, the unicorn roared angrily. A light immediately appeared, lifting Cordelia up. Seeing that, Udell ran over and shouted worriedly, "Cordelia!" Udell and Amel flew after it. Amel explained, "It's a two-horned unicorn. That's the two-horned unicorn's power." The two-horned unicorn, that's the two-horned unicorn's power. Cordelia struggled in the orb. She gritted her teeth and frowned. "This stupid power has me frozen." Udell shouted from the rock, "Get out of there!" He had guessed the unicorn's intent. The unicorn plans to kidnap Cordelia. The unicorn continued using its magic. Cordelia's hands were tied behind her and she screamed in pain. Both her hands and feet were bound by the unicorn's magic circle. It placed Cordelia on its back and roared. Level 21, two-horned unicorn. Udell helplessly looked at her. "Cordelia, it's trying to kidnap you." She panicked. "No kidding." As soon as she spoke, the unicorn laughed maliciously. Cordelia couldn't help but glare at it. At that moment, her mind was a mess. Cordelia bit her lip and thought, "I need to escape." Her hands tried to move to break free from the magic circle. "But with my current magic strength, I can't free myself from this power binding me. In that case..." Suddenly, Cordelia flung herself upward. She used all her strength to strike. She used all her strength to strike the unicorn hard. Udell and ML witnessed the scene and gaped in shock. The unicorn didn't expect Cordelia to act like that. She lay on the unicorn and groaned, "Ouch, my head." Cordelia's eyes widened as she realized her hands had escaped the bonds. "All right, I've escaped." Immediately, Cordelia jumped and flew off the unicorn's back. She reached out to remove the cloth wrapped around her,